gonna down this whole thing within the first like 15 minutes. Uh, to everybody just joining us, I'm eating delicious tacos with a spice mixture recommended me by a Portuguese man that can 3D print, and it's very good. It's also very salty, and it's made with beef brisket. So bon appetit. Oh,
Nice. So another Frenzy Freestyle Sunday where we also mention taco recipes.
yeah, straight up. If you can find one of them local grocery stores that's not a chain, get a real cheap side of beef, grind it up. That's good eating. That's what I did, and there was enough extra where I got to take some home. So,
homemade tacos are always the best. Homemade anything is always the best.
Oh yeah. Jess makes great homemade pizza. And she ain't even the Italian one. She just makes good homemade pizza.
Nice.
Everybody out there needs to get like at least 2-3 signature dishes that they're like really good at. That's how you know you've accomplished things in life. Me, I make real good lasagna, so
nice.
I got that skill.
Cool. Like lasagna is one of those really nice. If you can master making a really good homemade lasagna, like perfect.
And that stuff, like, because it's just the two of us, I'll make a big tray of it. That stuff, that's lunches for like over a week. So that's a good use of your time. Yeah.
Yes, this is very true. Well, now here's a question: Do you boil the pasta first, or do you bake it within the lasagna?
I bake it with the lasagna. I make sure that the sauce that goes in there is like pretty liquidy, so it gets absorbed, so it makes it, not too soft, not too firm.
Nice. Okay.
But I specifically get the kinds of noodles that are like ready to go in the oven. There's Pep. Surprisingly, she didn't go after my tacos.
Yes, another guest star of the show. So of our stream. So another Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. And myself, Spinister, Fear of Courage, and everyone else shall be joining us a bit later on this evening.
And Pepperoni the cat. Yeah. Who's going to try and eat my buttons because she likes doing that. So
she's going to have to get her own channel one day.
Yeah, I mean, we should already make her into my mascot. See, there she goes. Stop eating my buttons. One day you're going to tear them off, and I like this shirt. So
cool. So what are we covering this week in the world of Transformers?
Yeah, let's have a look. Well, I mean, eventually, probably as we're talking, I have this pack of accessories that same Portuguese person who gave me the taco recipe. Shout out to Dio, like the villain from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but he was named Dio first. Bunch of random 3D printed accessories for figures I got off of that main website that you go to get free files. I forget what it's called right this second. I
believe you mentioned it last week.
Yeah, I think it was Thingiverse. I'll check that when I have a free hand. But I just sent him the files. He just 3D printed them for me. They're all flat gray. I'll take them out and try them out in a minute. Got a Bumblebee movie Wheeljack I haven't opened yet. Might pop that open later. But this is all background. Oh, you're going after my buttons again.
Again. And of course, our main topic that we will jump in at around 9 p.m. is what if StarScream was the leader of the Decepticons? And the key question, just before Galvatron came back and destroyed him, what was StarScream? What would have been StarScream's first command as leader of the Decepticons?
I think there's it's a terrible comic, but that one that Brandon Easton did a couple years ago, where Optimus Prime didn't die, and they spent the whole comic crapping on Hot Rod for some reason. It was not a good story, but it had some interesting bits. And they did continue his speech past that point where he was interrupted in the movie.
Nice.
But I think he wasn't saying anything definite. He was giving a speech about how he was going to unify everything and destroy the Autobots and whatever.
Well, but of course.
Yeah, but I can save that for later. But I mentioned this before, and I'll bring it up later. It's really funny in light of the long chain of leaders in the Marvel comics of the Decepticons. How he never gets a turn, ever, and it's a motley crew of people that take charge over time.
It's interesting. I mean, I wonder why Starscream just never had that opportunity. Although for that one brief moment when he had to combat the cons, he basically was the leader of the Decepticons again, just for a very few seconds.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, he was like in a coma for a long time in Marvel. I guess that's the way to explain it. In Marvel, a lot of times people would get damaged in battle and just be stuck in stasis for issues. So he got
Mm.
like shot up by Omega Supreme and kept by the Autobots in cold storage for a very long time. And then later on, just before the Underbase saga, he got bailed out and brought back. So I think that might have been a reason. He was, ambiguously half dead for a very long time.
Hmm. I mean, just like Optimus for almost the majority of the comic series.
Yeah, same basic situation. Yeah. Speaking of this comic series, okay, I need to
Yes.
catch up on it. But also apparently everything is ending in June, so I think I'm gonna wait till then and then just binge everything I haven't read. I've still
Okay.
been buying the issues, so I got a big stack just waiting.
Nice.
Yeah. Uh, Everything's almost ending here, and I'm anxious to see how Brian Ruckley pulls this off because this is less of a tragedy than Beast Wars ending early because he's had a few years and has had a really good run. So I'm confident he can bring this to like a good conclusion. It's a really interesting series. Even if they really whiff the ending, which I don't think they're going to because he's been a good author so far, it's definitely worth reading. I still recommend it as one of my go-to things.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm almost like I almost like don't want to read the preview because it's so far ahead of where I am. I'm back somewhere in the 30s.
Issue four. So is I'm guessing 44 would be the last issue.
Good question. I don't know, maybe 44, 45. No, I think it might be 45 because it's a nice round number.
All right, and let's go to some more news.
Oh yeah, well we saw leaks before, but now we have the official images of this guy.
Yes.
Shattered glass blaster with rewind. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the vanilla one to show up around here though, but yeah, I think. Well, okay, in the new series he's just Evil Blaster, but in Fun Pub stuff, for some reason he was like coded like a stereotypical evil German with the accent and everything.
Oh
I don't
gosh.
know why. The new series doesn't write him that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, I'm thinking about Ravage again. Um, but yeah, I guess kind of interesting to find out why they would have went that direction with him.
Well, old Shattered Glass was extremely weird and silly on purpose. The new series that from IDW, which these guys are based on, is a little bit more serious in tone.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently there's a second series coming. They're going to crank it out before they lose the license. Another 5 issues.
Nice.
Yeah. So it did the 5 issues. I liked them. It didn't have much of an ending. Like it just kind of cut off. So I'm glad to see that they're going to get 5 more to presumably tie the story up, because it was very much like the beginning of something instead of like a self-contained thing.
Got it.
Plus they got more toys to sell. Like Magnus was only had showed up really quickly at the end, and now they're making a full figure of him. So of course he's going to show up in the comic.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go to.
Oh yeah, man. 3-0 Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire. This has nostalgic packaging because it looks like the old Revenge of the Fallen packaging once you see the full box.
Okay.
It has like all the old logos and the old like orange graphics and everything. That is a crazy figure of Jetfire that is designed to, go a little bit further, just a little further,
Okay. Let's see.
so we can see the bottom of the box there. There we go. See, that's nostalgic now. That's 2009 packaging.
Nice.
Yeah. This guy can split into armor and combine with their Optimus to match what he did in the movie. Because these 3-0 guys aren't allowed to transform, but they are allowed to do that. So this is like the most complicated looking Jetwing Optimus they've ever done. Because he breaks up into his armor, you can take him to pieces, you can combine him with the Optimus. I mean, it's ludicrously expensive, but it's impressive to see. They put out a YouTube video like demonstrating how it works.
Okay. Which Optimus does he combine with?
The 3-0 Optimus that they did, because this is the 3-0 line, which are those giant, expensive action figures.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta look that up because that's that would look pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's like they're even like little bits on Optimus's face that like clamp on, and they're like this bit. They're like minuscule, and nobody ever attempts to do that detail in action figure form because it's such a small thing. But this guy does.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it, good. It is way too rich for my blood, but it is gorgeous looking. So.
Okay, and let's go to.
Nice background, by the way. That is Masterpiece Tracks.
Yes, I don't even recall where I found this background.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, this is a figure that seems really basic, but gets more interesting the more you dig in. Mark, the designer, talked about him on Instagram. He did a post breaking it down. So that is Red Cog, who is a background extra from the Siege TV show that they decided to make into a figure. And what makes him special is he's basically quietly an accessory pack because he comes with way more guns than the previous ones came with, and they're all based on specific guns from the Siege TV show, and you can give them out. So it's like another Centurion pack, basically. The weirdest one is it comes with a couple of grenades that are based on Wheeljack's grenades from Transformers Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and Mark went into detail in his Instagram post. He was just like, "Here's a ton of extra weapons I designed that I'm going to throw in with this guy."
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry, so you guys have started the news, and what character is this? Red Cog. Who is this?
This was
Go ahead.
There's a random background extra from the Siege cartoon that also doubles as Grand Maximus's partner. If anybody had that when Takara did it, but he comes with a ton of weapons. He's like another Centurion set, basically, because he's got like a ton of weapons to give to other figures.
Is he a remold? Like the original design of this mold? Is that like one of the? Is it an homage to like the Metroplex accessory?
Yeah, it's the original one with Cog that came with Fortress Maximus.
Fort Max. Okay, so what was the? Was there not like a similar figure that came with Metroplex?
Six Gun and Slammer. He came with two of them, and they've both been redone in Siege and Kingdom, respectively.
Slammer didn't look like this guy, right? Six Gun is the one that looked like this.
Yeah. Six Gun was made of six guns.
And this guy is made of what? Cogs?
Way more than six guns.
Okay, but he's made of guns.
Yeah.
Hence the connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the same idea. They're a little partner figure that's full of armaments.
Cool. All right, well, carry on, gentlemen. I'll jump in when we get to the part of the Transformers news that I'm interested in, which is, of course, the Takara announcement.
The Takara. Oh, yes.
If it were a gangster, then it'd be tons of guns.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, and let's jump to one of the reviews.
Oh yeah, I get to finally explain what the deal is with this extremely weird pull.
Let's see. And where is he? Where is he? There we go.
All right, so presuming this is the one I was thinking of. Oh, it's Hot Rod. Yes, well, Kingdom / Legacy Core Hot Rod. Well, this one isn't a remold, Calvin. He says on YouTube. Yeah, I just needed to check what my cat was doing. But yeah, this is the little miniature hot rod that goes with. Well, okay, he's not actually designed to go with Star Convoy, but I paired him up with Star Convoy, as I believe last week's viewers would have seen, or was it the week before? Previous viewers.
Previous viewers, yes.
Yeah. So he's just a tiny little hot rod. He's in the first wave of Legacy or the last wave of Kingdom, and he is okay. He is probably the weakest of the little core guys I reviewed, but I haven't reviewed many of them, and anything compared to Soundwave is going to look weak.
Oh no.
Yeah. So a little, real mixed opinions here. But he comes with a sword. He looks all right. He's kind of a pain to transform. He goes well with Star Convoy. He's like a 6 out of 10, like a passing grade, but that's about it.
I'm surprised for such a small character, for him to to have as you said, a pain to transform compared to like the larger characters. That's like 58 steps.
Yeah, it has to do with they gave him like a transformation that probably would have been easier on a bigger figure, but when you shrink things down to that small, you have a lot of tiny parts to worry about, and that makes it difficult. Like, tiny tabs that need to be lined up, or else the whole thing's not going to hold together.
Got it.
You can do it, but I'm definitely like, this feels like it's more complicated than it needs to be, compared to like Soundwave, which is like a snap to do. But yeah, I get into it during the review, and I took some photos to demonstrate what I was talking about.
A review that you can find on childrenofprimus.com /news and reviews. And
yeah.
Speaking of one more review,
Okay, yeah, here we go. So let me explain this. I'm not a big Lego guy. I'm not a huge Sonic guy. I played some of the old games back in the day. But what this is a project by a Transformers fan who's on a Discord that I'm on, because this is a Lego Ideas set, which means that it was created and designed by a fan.
nice. Okay.
Yes. And I said like, Hasbro sort of dipped its toes into this with the fan built stuff before, but like this is a whole different level, because this entire set was designed in like a 3D program that they just have if you want to design Lego sets, and was submitted, and people had to vote for it like it was a Kickstarter, and it got reviewed, and they already had the license for Sonic, and it got produced, and the whole process took a couple of years to do, and I followed it the whole way start to finish because I was curious, and this is a look at the finished result. And I think it's a really interesting concept for a fan creation that can be done that way and like made official, and like you can buy it in a store now, and just a person who really likes both Sonic and Lego just put it together.
Yeah, and I mean, Lego is one of those universal toys that's spanned for generations upon generations. Where like I had Lego and passed it down to my children along with the newer set. But looking at the sculpt and everything they put in, and the detail they put into the Sonic and the Lego, like it's very impressive.
Yeah. Like I said in the review, I'm like, you can tell this was done by a fan because there's like tons of details, because it's like a bunch of characters and then a slice of a side-scrolling level that is like a landscape, and just with a bunch of the little tiny things in there. And I'm like, you can tell, like, even if you're not super into it, you can tell that it was like, you can tell that it was like the result of like a fan who was like super into it.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was an interesting thing to build as somebody that doesn't like really do Lego. So I talk about that a bit further down too. Yeah. So check it out and give it a read if you're interested in what it looks like when a fan gets to design an entire product from the ground up and build it exactly to their specifications. And we talk here about like, oh, the fans should run things. Well, this is an example of what it looks like when a fan runs something, right?
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, having followed it for that long, I just absolutely had to get one and see what the finished result was like,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And let's there we go. Now I know D wanted to speak upon this.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can get it on the screen.
Oh, she's purring because she thinks she's going to get my buttons. She's not going to get my buttons. There we go, eh? Trailbreaker. And it's like an unofficial crappy image because it's obviously not ready for the proper announcement yet.
Yes.
Can't even quite tell what he comes with. A blast, his antenna, a bunch of alternate faces, a fist, and I don't know what that other thing is. Yeah, but this is going to be real interesting in a post-Skids world where I wonder what level of complicated he's going to be, because I've heard Masterpiece Skids was really simple again, right? Compared to the ludicrously complicated guys they've done recently. So I'm interested in seeing how this turns out and how it will compare to what I've heard is a very good third-party Trailbreaker that already exists, the Ocular Max one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, I think we can have D give us give us an update on this Trailbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
So it says I'm in the show.
Yeah.
I see that I'm in the show, but I don't hear you guys.
Do you know?
Let me see. What are you not?
He wants to see us talk.
I see Mike
There we
talking.
go.
Nobody wants
Hello.
to nod. Nobody wants to follow my directions. Maybe you're not hearing me. Why
I'm
would it
hearing
let
you.
me in if the mic is not on? Can one of you act like you can hear me and give me a thumbs up at least? Okay, now he nods. Not okay, fine. Look, not Dinobots for once. Actually follow directions. Thank you. Okay, I know you can hear me. Now all I gotta do is make it so I can hear you.
Hi.
This is nonsense.
This is nonsense is the motto of our show.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, I can
good.
hear you on TV, but now we're going to have the feedback, and you're going to act like it's not an issue. But,
What?
yeah,
Not
I guess
any
I'll act
feedback.
like it's not an issue.
Yeah, I'm not.
How loud is the feedback from the TV?
Non-existent. I can't hear it.
Mm-hmm. No feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean you can't hear it because you guys never actually listen to the broadcast whenever I tell you this. Bill's mic has been chipping for the last 2 weeks. I bring it up. Everybody just acts like they can't check a monitor. But anyway, let's not say that live. I'll complain about that when we're off camera. So this is what I came here to talk about.
Let's not say that live. Well, that's tonight's stream. Good night, everyone.
So look, Trailbreaker.
Yes, Trailbreaker.
Now, have you already said anything about it? Should I go on my rant, or do you want to say what you have to say about it first? Or do you want to just freeze up and just kill a lot of airtime?
Sorry, I was checking. I was checking the
what's
stream as you suggested, and then I was trying to mute it. But yeah, I was just like, well, this is just like it's going to be really interesting to see what this looks like in more detail in a post-Masterpiece Skids world where they seem to be swinging the pendulum back to more simple, straightforward transformations, as opposed to the ludicrously complicated stuff that like Hound and StarScream and Optimus #2 was doing. I mean, #3. But also, like, it's such a crappy early level picture that we can't really tell too much yet because it's obviously like not a formalized one and it's all compressed.
So what about it gives you the impression that it might be more geared towards simple-minded folks like yourself?
Well, I mean, I can't really tell much. I'm just saying that there was all
Or
this.
you were just saying you're hoping it goes in that direction, not that the image suggests that to you.
Yeah, just that I'm hoping it goes in that direction after Skids was very much that. And there'd been such pushback against the more complicated ones like Hound that,
Right. Pushback by the kinds of people, we've discussed. Of course, I'm on the other side that I only want it to be more complicated. If there's a more complicated option, I want it more complicated. So I'm not at all in that, that it might be a majority, majority of folks, want things to be simple, but I'm of course of that echelon of collectors that want a masterpiece to be a masterpiece, not for it to be a regular, easy to transform piece, which is which which is mainline. Anyway, the other two, the thing that's interesting about this is that there's already, is it 2 or 3? There's two third-party options out, both of which that are really good. And Fans Toys has teased for years. They've had their pre-orders up, and for Outlander. And in fact, they had those pre-orders up, and then they canceled them, and then they put them back up at their higher price, and it's still not out. But that would be the third masterpiece scale third-party version, and now this is the fourth that we're getting. And the first two that are already out are Bad Cube and X Transbots, and both of those figures are like excellent masterpiece figures. Like, most people go for the X Transbots over the Bad Cube. I don't know if one of you guys could pull up a comparison of X Transbots and Bad Cube so we could see how they look compared to this.
Did Ocular Max not do one?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You're right. There's 3 that are currently out. Fans Toys is the fourth that has been revealed but not released. This is the 5th option. You're right. I was trying to think, like, what is? Yeah. So Ocular Max, which is MMC. So they have. If you like that cartoon, clean look and sort of like a curvy look, it's got the best sculpt. But even though MMC generally has really good quality figures, out of the 3 that are out that I mentioned, that one is the floppiest. So people have that after they transformed it a few times, gets loose, and it really doesn't hold up if you have it next to the other 2 that I mentioned, the Bad Cube and the X Transbots. And as far as display quality, like just look on the shelf, the X Transbots, I think, is the winner, and that's why most people go for it. But for people who really like the sophisticated engineering, and really appreciate the alt modes. Both of the alt modes are good, but the Bad Cube actually has the most sophisticated, most interesting transformation, in my opinion, and it has the best alt mode. Like, it really does look like one of those, downscaled metal model cars. So does X Transbots. Looks pretty good, but I think that X Transbots probably looks a little better in bot mode. Bad Cube looks a little better in alt mode. And Bad Cube is the best of all 3 when it comes to articulation in bot mode. So all that said, the real question is, boom, okay, we got them up on screen. So, yeah, look at what I said. So is it, let me
They're
see
labeled.
which is which. Okay, right in the center is going to be X Transbots. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just to the left of each is the label.
Okay, well, I can't see it, but even better, let's guess and see if what I said is accurate. So, like, the more curvy one is the Ocular Max. Is that on the far left? I mean, right?
Yes. Far left.
Okay, yeah. So it's exactly what I said. And then on the left, you see is the Bad Cube, and you see like the paint on the thighs and stuff. It just doesn't pop as well as on the other 2. But really, like, you can wait. Am I saying it right?
Ocular Max is on the left. Bad Cube is on the right. Here's
I'm realizing that as I was talking. Yeah. Anyway, so MMC, you can see they're all beautiful sculpts. maybe presentation wise, the Bad Cube has the least attractive bot mode. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was starting to say the curvy, right? So on the right side there, the Bad Cube one, it's the third best in terms of bot mode presentation, but in terms of the transformation, I think it's the coolest. And then overall quality wise, it's X transpots. So the overall point is it will be really hard for Takara to beat these these options.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and we haven't seen Fans Toys, right? And Fans Toys is the best third party company, right? So X Transbots, if it's the second best, then they have the number one trailbreaker so far. If Fans Toys comes out and beats it, I don't know how Takara is going to stand a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see what they do different, given that there are so many good options already out here.
I mean, best case, the smart thing to do is for them, which probably is what they've done. We'll know better when we get some better images. But the smart move is what we saw them do with the Menasor, which is take a look at what the third party does, take the best ideas from each one, and make the best version, right? And if they do that, then that would be cool. But to your point with the skids, I don't think that they improved on the X Transbot skids. I think they failed to outdo X Transbots. And with the MP Hound, I like the MP Hound. I think the problem with MP Hound is not the complexity; it was the materials. And according to the rumor mill, it was the factory that they did it at and the cheap materials. That was
Yeah.
done in good materials. My problem is not the complexity. I love the sculpt. I love the detail. I love that he's got the visor, to go underwater and everything. I think it's really cool. So but that said, the Fans Toys Willis is the better bot. Like if you pick up the two of them and hold them, it's like which one do you want to own in your collection if you have to put one back? Nobody is picking the Takara one. Nobody is picking that if you have them hand in hand. Some people looking at pictures they might, but you hold them, it's like no, you're picking the Fans Toys. And I think the same thing is probably true with skids, although I didn't buy the official because I just looked at it and I'm like, this doesn't look that much better than even a mainline. It looks like a high-end mainline. It doesn't look like it's beating my X Transbots figure. And when I looked at the comparisons, people did SmackDown reviews, and they said they're 50-50, so you're not missing out. Like you don't have to upgrade to X Transbots if you've got the Takara, but if you got the Takara, it's not, you didn't get the masterpiece, right? They didn't outdo it. Now, on the other hand, where did they succeed? A good example is Sunstreaker. So there were a bunch of, well, not a bunch. There was one really good Sunstreaker out, which was Bad Cube. And then there was a horrendous one, which was Omnigonics.
Yeah, I remember
and
hearing about that.
Yeah. And so, but the Bad Cube Sunstreaker, I love that figure. That was excellent. Their old timer series, of which this Trailbreaker is also one of them in that old timer series. So I love that old timer series. I think, Sunstreaker was my first Transformer, along with Thundercracker. So he's got a place in my heart. But the point is, Takara came out, and they basically, a lot of people say that they copied the engineering. They copied a good portion of the ideas for the engineering from Bad Cube. But that said, they made the far superior figure. That the Takara Sunstreaker, it's more complicated. So those of you who don't like complicated, maybe you want to go with the Bad Cube. But the Takara one's more complicated. The paint is superb. The articulation is amazing. Like that was, I think when they came out with that figure, that was a jump in the sophistication of their engineering. So you mentioned the Optimus Prime, version 3. But I think maybe where it started might have been that figure, might have been that Sunstreaker where they did a jump in complexity. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do think so because I didn't own it, but I borrowed someone's a long time ago and had it for a few weeks. and I had a lot of the early Masterpiece cars, so that was definitely the point where I noticed that it became way more complex than previous, because it was doing like the fake chest for cartoon accuracy and the two different vehicle modes to have the engine there and not. So yeah, that was definitely the point where there was a noticeable jump in complexity.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing where it was missing from maybe some of the earlier Masterpiece. So yeah, you're bringing up a good point. Like the real proper comparison is the earlier Masterpiece cars, which were excellent, right? Maybe Tracks came out earlier, and that has some kind of mixed reviews. But the Sunstreaker, it didn't weigh as much. There was no metal in it, no die cast, so it doesn't have that kind of quality feel that you get with a Fans Toys figure. But just that sophistication, you really felt the difference going from the Datsuns to that figure, right? And I think the same would be you could say the same thing of the Hound, and I really think that Hound would be much better reviewed if it didn't break.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think the problem's complexity. I think the problem's that it breaks.
Yeah, that is the feedback that I always heard about it. But most people blamed the breakage on the complexity rather than the materials. At least that's what I heard.
Sorry, guys, I'm getting technical difficulties again. My phone all of a sudden just stopped playing your sound. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to have to try to text you here.
Okay. Yeah, there they are, eh? I guess that is the crappy one on the right. Yeah, official one on the left, and then the bad cube one in the middle. Yeah, that is like a huge chest. But I remember when that one really bad Sunstreaker came out and was getting all that really bad press.
Yeah, that is a huge difference between the two of them.
Yeah, and like the earlier
Check
the
it
thing
out.
was, yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
All right, finally got it working.
All right,
yeah, no, I hear you guys, and I actually have you in my earpiece now, which that's what I was trying to do. And also have you playing off the TV. Yeah. So you got all the Sunstreakers here, and you can see the difference, right? Omnigonix is on the far right, which is the trash one. I mean, it's not. And again, the sculpt is not trash. What they did, which some people like, you've mentioned the faux chest, which Bad Cube did, and it's just beautiful the way they did that transformation, and then Takara copied it. Omnigonix, they didn't do the faux chest, and some people, they don't like the notion of the faux chest. So in that case, this was a better homage to the toy design.
Yeah.
And again, it was, maybe you were already saying this, again, the problem really was factory and quality. It was this company's first attempt, and the QC was really terrible. Had the QC not been so bad, then I don't think the figure would have been as badly reviewed. It still wouldn't hold up aesthetic wise to these other two, but it wouldn't be a bad toy in and of itself.
Now, I have a question to direct to both of you guys, with handling more of the newer complex figures. And I kind of already know Dee's answer on this, but Anthony, in terms of the complexity of transforming a character, do you prefer it to be more detailed and more complex, or less?
Less, but it doesn't have to be really simple. I think the key thing is I like it when it is simple enough that after having used the instructions a couple times, I can just go from muscle memory. And I don't really get that with a lot of the big complicated masterpieces, which is why I kind of got out of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally true that like some of the more complex masterpiece figures, like I think that in theory, you couldn't muscle memory learn it. Well, actually, maybe not, because it really does take, like, some of them take you, like, you got to sit down and spend a half an hour to go from one mode to the other. So you can memorize it. Like I know how to transform it without instructions. I don't use instructions ever, other than at the end to see, like, oh, did I miss a panel or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that said, yeah, like every time I do them, I haven't memorized any of them really. Like the complex masterpiece figures, I'm relearning it every time I do it. I'm like messing around with it, trying to figure it out. So in theory, if you memorized it, maybe you'd cut it down from 25 minutes figuring it out to 12 minutes memorized. But yeah, you're not going to do muscle memory. You're not going to do it without looking at it for sure. It's going to take a long time. So it is a whole different thing, right? It isn't like you sit there and play with your toy while you're doing something else.
Well, from what you were mentioning earlier, and just kind of like a funny thought came in my head. Would there ever be, or has there been, a third party company that decided, whichever characters we create, let's make the transformation as complex as possible? So, if one company is like, well, it's going to take 50 steps for this character, our character is going to take 150 steps.
Wait, Anthony, do you want to say something?
I don't have any of these guys, so I can't comment. But what about those Art of Transformation guys that are just try to integrate everything? Isn't that sort of along those lines? Like they're like, we're going to make combiners with no combiner kibble and stuff.
Oh yeah. Those are the best figures. Oh, good point. So initially, why don't you, Anthony, if you could pull them up to show them what we're talking about, I'll mention the Bruticus. So I have the Bruticus, which is this is Ocular Max, right? That we're talking about. I have the Bruticus, and I'm in on the Defensor set. And Defensor, they've only come out with First Aid yet, but the Bruticus exists. So Spin. When you initially asked the question, I think it's funny because the portion of the Transformers community that doesn't like the complexities, that complains about the complexity, they're very vocal, right? So they would say, like, basically X-Transbots and Fans toys, like that's what they seem to be doing anyway. Like they seem to be trying to make these things. If you listen to some of these people, it's like they're trying to make these toys so that it's so hard to transform it. Like, what is the point? But no, it doesn't seem to be that is their intent. The reason why these figures are so complicated, according to the colloquial knowledge, is in order to get the vehicle to look exactly like it looked on screen, and the robot to look exactly like it looked on screen when no such engineering has ever existed, right?
Right.
That's what requires a lot of complexity, a lot of parts, a lot of panels. That's why you can't have both a simple transformation and a really good looking, both modes. So generally speaking, it's the complexity masochists like myself that enjoy the fact that it has to be this complicated, whereas rational human beings who actually want to have fun without like tearing their hair out like Anthony, they don't want it to be that complicated. But so what you have here, so here's the Bruticus that he brought up. Maybe Art of Transformation is that maybe that's the subline for the combiners. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like a tagline, basically.
Okay, yeah, it's like a logo. Yeah, exactly, like a slogan. But yeah. So here is the MMC. So that was the MMC StarScream right next to it. And now I've showed you this Onslaught on camera before.
Yeah.
I told you that Onslaught is one of my favorite figures. Like I just love that figure. On camera in these pictures, his proportions look a little wonky, but in hand he's just amazing. Now I have the full set. I haven't opened them all. The Swindle is really great. I haven't done the combination, but the Art of Transformation, Spin, to your point about the complexity, the reason why the engineering here is so complicated is because you see the Bruticus hand here in this picture. That hand is actually incorporated into the bot. So that isn't
Nice.
an add-on piece. It's not a parts former. And the head that you see there, the Bruticus head, also is a built-in head. So Onslaught has that at all time. It's not like in G1 and like with all the other combiners that are out there, or most of the other combiners that are out there, certainly all the Masterpiece scale ones. This is close enough to Masterpiece scale that's what I have for my Masterpiece, even though it's not as tall as the Toy World Zeta scale, which is the preferred scale. But when you go with that scale, those guys are all parts formers, the one exception being the new Moon Studio train bots. What up, Calvin? I see you there. So yeah, so this is probably the most complicated transformer, Masterpiece transforming set that you could get. Anthony, like, props for bringing it up. And it's most complicated for what reason? Because you've got screen accurate vehicle modes, screen accurate bot modes. It's effectively a triple changer because it's a combiner, right? And then on top of that, it's a non-parts forming combiner. So that really is that is the top echelon of engineering that you could get in a Masterpiece set. So that's why, like, I picked this over the Zeta Toys, even though the Zeta Toys Bruticus, if you just looked at the two Bruticuses side by side, Zeta Toys wins. It's bigger, it's smoother, it's more tune accurate. But that's because it cuts all these engineering corners, right? So you got this simpler thing. It's a parts former, and that's why it's able to look so good and be so stable.
I did handle that set.
I was going to say, in terms of taking out the tune accuracy for the moment, because a lot of G1 more focused on actual vehicle accuracy.
Yes.
You mentioned how you mentioned that the parts are combined, are already within each of the characters. In this case, Defensor is that exception in G1 because Hotspot has Defensor's head within the fire engine ladder. He's the only one that has it. But then think about the GoBot combiner. I believe Puzzler. All of his parts are combined. So I was gonna say, what year did this Bruticus come out, or do you know of it coming out?
This one is out. I have it. I don't have the G2 colors, but
which I brought up because I know it exists, and I'm like, look at that. That's lovely.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And I mean, I don't know if that Bruticus looks awesome, but some of the individual bots look awesome. If you look at, check out, I think it's Vortex.
Yeah.
Which one is purple? Or no, Swindle. I think Swindle is out. That red and purple Swindle, like, that looks crazy. That individual bot.
I'll look for photos.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you were into G2, like, this is a must-have.
What year would you say this Bruticus, or I believe in G2 is Ruination? Like, what year would this have come out?
This is recent. Like, the set was only completed last year, and I told you, and the next set is Defensor, and only first date is out for Defensor right now. And Groove is going to be Groove is the second one coming out.
Because I'm just thinking in terms of Puzzler, that came out, I believe, in like 1985, and the engineering incorporated all of the combiner pieces into each character. So it's just interesting for the Transformers side of things, for them to figure out that type of engineering, like, 20, 30 years later. Whereas, like,
okay, no, hold on. That's not apples to apples, because when we're talking about the complexity of the all-in-one here,
right?
Again, the thing that makes look at those colors. That is dope. Like, that's worth buying. Even if you're not into G2, that's just a cool looking, it's just a cool looking figure. But so Spin, what I was saying about the complexity of engineering, it's not impressive just that you would be able to invent a combiner that doesn't use parts forming if you were inventing it from scratch, right? That's just like, giving them props for that is the same way that Anthony has, consistently been trying to give Hasbro or Takara props, for inventing alt modes when you're just inventing it. Like that's not an engineering challenge. The engineering challenge is when you have something that initially was engineered with parts forming and initially has a cartoon representation that is incommensurate with one another, meaning it's got an alt mode and a vehicle mode represented on screen that doesn't exist in the engineering form. So then to be able to do that, that's what's impressive. So Puzzler, Puzzler is just a bunch of cars, and you just stick the cars together and pretend they're limbs. It's basically Motor Master. So, you didn't need the face. Oh, and by the way, is Motor Master's face built in, or was that like a stick-on?
I think.
Yeah. Well, they could have easily included it, right? Because
Minosaur's face is just a mask on top of Motor Master's face.
Yeah, that's the funniest one, right? It's not even a whole head. It's just like a plate. Calvin, what do you think about all this?
To be honest with you, I just want to knock down that whole entire.
You want to knock them all down? I understand. You want to knock them all down. So, how do you feel about
that's my thing? But
wait, show him the Takara. Show him the Takara. Let's go back to something that matters. Let's go back to the Takara. Yeah.
No, it's on Spin's screen. He's got to bring it up.
Spin.
The original image
Takara?
from.
Yeah, we gotta ask Calvin if he wants to knock it down or if he wants to buy it.
Let me bring it back up. I closed that tab before.
Yeah, Takara Trailbreaker. You want to buy it or you want to knock it down?
Buy it.
Okay. Now you don't have any of these guys here.
Third party? No.
Yeah, so you don't buy. So you do buy Masterpiece if it's official, but not not third party. Is that right?
Not third party.
Okay. And will you buy Masterpiece like not show characters? Like, do you buy the Diaclone colors and the stupid shit like that? The car repaints?
What do you mean by like the car repaint?
Let me think of an example. They repainted. Did they repaint Wheeljack? So Masterpiece Wheeljack. Didn't they repaint that? And what is that repaint called? Somebody know? Exhaust or something like that?
Exhaust.
Exhaust.
Exhaust, right?
Exhaust. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're the kind of person who will buy that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, Spin. This is who we have here. We have one of these Hasbro Takara sycophants that is so brainwashed by the official that he's gonna buy characters that nobody cares about. Like couldn't care less. That character doesn't even exist, but he's buying it because it's official. Prove me wrong, Calvin.
I like your opinion that you try to make things up, but that's kind of cool because the Quinton says your ass is guilty. But like I just said, it's the same punishment either way. Not just the name; it's the quality of the figure. Because a third party they can make a shitty figure too.
I understand that. No, but explain this to me. If you're not a first party sycophant, why would you buy? I understand why you would buy Wheeljack, right? That's a great figure, Masterpiece Wheeljack. And if you get the official over the knockoff, that would be logical. Okay, I would expect that of you. But what I don't understand is, Spinister or Lottie, they would buy the knockoff, right? We would expect that from them. We expect to buy the official. That's fine. But I know that Orlotti and Spinister, under no circumstance, are going to buy that stupid character that Anthony is holding there. Anthony, I know you do. I know you. Let me make my accusation first, and then you defend yourself. All right. So now Anthony has. Now you Calvin. There's something I can respect of you. Higher than That looks like the masterpiece.
This is the mainline one, the Generation.
Okay, that's what I was going to
Select
say. So the reason I respect Calvin more than Anthony is because Anthony is a mainline sycophant. So he won't even buy the masterpiece, right? So he's going to buy the mainline character that myself, that Orlati, and that Spinister, we would never buy Exhaust because we're not just going to buy anything that Hasbro or Takara puts out. It has to be a character that we care about. But you guys will buy it just because it's by Hasbro or Takara. Now, Calvin, I give you props because at least you'll buy the masterpiece, whereas Anthony is too cheap to even bother buying the best representation of what the company is telling him he has to buy because he is a pushover. But my question to you is, if you are not a sycophant, why would you buy Exhaust? Why not just get Wheeljack and be done with it? That's
I have
my question.
both. I have both.
I know.
The reason here's the answer to the question, because people don't understand the quality of the product. So what you see.
No, hold on.
And
1 second. Hold on. Masterpiece Wheeljack and Masterpiece Exhaust are the identical quality. They're the identical figure. It's just repainted.
But you still don't get it because you still coming into like breakdown mode. And like I'm just telling you, it's the quality of the figure. That's just like me going over the third party. I'm looking for Abominus.
Right.
And I'm looking for the best Abominus figure ever. And I'm like, okay, so which one of these look accurate and which one is like, it's like you're going to the least good, the best, the greatest, and awesomeness. Yeah. So I'm going to pick the awesomeness of that figure.
I agree with you. I give you I know that you do that, right? Because that's what makes you different from Anthony. Because Anthony there has a mainline figure, which basically, let's be honest, that is a knockoff of the masterpiece. like basically, Takara Hasbro knocked themselves off, with that figure.
Don't the other companies do the exact same thing with Hasbro? Don't they copy each other? So I don't get the concept of a copier of a copier. And then on top of that, then you want to make sure your figure is great and it's accurate towards the comic books or the cartoon. And those are the things I look at, because third party, the reason why I don't buy them, because they make so many versions of it, and then you don't know what you're getting until it's the greatest quality. That's what I look for. For me to buy third party, it's got to be
Fans Choice. No, look, then Fans Choice.
It has to be the fucking best out of best. That's just me.
Okay, look, the reason why, like, your answer, like, everything you're answering, like, it makes sense, but you're conflating a number of different conversations that we're having. So the one thing you're talking about is, like, why you prefer to get official versus third party, right? So that's what you're saying right now. But that doesn't answer the question that I had just asked you before you started answering, and the whole thing I was saying about this, sycophant thing, which obviously I'm joking about, but the point is that you and Anthony are more inclined towards the mainline, or sorry, towards official. Let me say official, not mainline. You and Anthony are more inclined towards official, whereas I'm more inclined towards third party. I think maybe Orlati and Spin are on the fence. Like, they couldn't care less. They just want the figure. But in terms of just like, my critique is when you like the official to a fault. So when you are going to buy something from Hasbro or Takara, just because it's Hasbro or Takara, even though it serves no purpose in your collection. That's what I'm suggesting as a criticism. Okay. And here's what I would give as an example of a figure that you would only buy because it's official, not because it serves any real purpose in your collection. The answer would be, assuming you, Calvin, already have Masterpiece Wheeljack, and assuming you, Anthony, already have your broke-ass mainline Wheeljack, which is a copy of Calvin's Masterpiece Wheeljack, right? Both of them are official. Both of them are great figures. Okay, that's a great figure. The question is, once you have that Wheeljack, why are you buying the exhaust figure? And the answer is just because you want to waste money, just because you want to buy another official figure. There's no reason to have that figure. You've got Wheeljack.
Let them answer.
Go. All right.
Counterpoint, I don't actually have the Wheeljack. I just got the exhaust because I thought it looked nicer and it was more interesting as a weirdo Diaclone thing.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Iceman? No, you can't steal his answer.
Man. I'm finna break it down to you, bro.
Okay.
Everybody's different. I can't get what you want, but I can. But I choose not to. We all got choice in figures that we like and we don't like. You can't tell me that I should go to buy third party versus but I like this line.
Hold on, we're not talking about third party. We're not talking about third party right now.
Stop. Because now I'll answer all your questions all into one. Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Most people, they chase after the hype. I don't chase the hype because I look at the quality of the figure. I don't just buy because of the colors. I look at the face features. I compare it to the comic book. I compare these figures. Before I buy anything, I do a comparison. If it looked exactly like the accuracy, I would spend $400 with no ease. No ease. But right now, I see all these third-party companies, they're just copying each other. Because you don't know what you could be getting a nice-looking figure. It could be shitty just like Hasbro. Or Hasbro could have a nice figure. It could be better than third-party. Sure. And that's the issues that we're having right now because that exhaust figure, it might have some features that third-party might not have, or the third-party might be trying to copy that figure. It's just those things that we don't look for. We can sit here and do the back and forth thing, which is the best. Who Hasbro is doing this, third party is doing that. I was just looking at a screen last night with my guys. They was talking about the exact same thing what you just got through talking about.
Yeah.
Cause they buy third party.
Yeah.
And they do not play. They buy the best out of the best. And
I know a couple guys like that, so I know what you mean.
So my question is, if I want to buy this Abominus figure,
yeah,
which I truly love, and Hasbro Pulse has one, third party has one, and I'm saying like, damn. So if Hasbro is doing this, so let me go check out the third party. So I'm looking at all these separate figures.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. It's quality over not so good quality. Mm-hmm. Because I say, oh, this is dope. Third party is pretty good. So I'm sitting here debating in between the two, which is the best. What will stand up? What will have more accessories?
Yeah.
That what I'm paying for. And so that's these things. That's why I say I would.
Okay, it sounds like you're saying that you make your purchase on a case by case basis. But that's confusing because I thought that you told us it's confusing because you also told us that you don't buy third party, you only get official.
No, because I just told you. If I see something that I like it. So
you're saying you will buy third party, you just can't. It just has turned out that you haven't preferred the third party.
It has to be great.
So have there been any examples?
It has to be great.
Did you buy? So you've mentioned Abominus. Now there aren't a lot of good Abominus options out there from third party or official, but basically the official is trash, and your only option. Well, it's not trash actually.
Well, do you have this figure?
Yeah, I do.
Can I see the figure?
I could go get. I have them in the box. The Titans Return. Yeah, look who's talking. You got them in the box too. So box the Titans Return figures are in the box. But Hungar was one of the best G1 toys. Like he was a wicked G1 toy. And so And so when they came out with that Power of the Primes one, people were I was really excited. I was really looking forward to it. And the Limbots look good. The Limbots for Abominus, for Power of the Primes, like they look fine. You know,
Right.
they're not like awesome articulated figures, right?
Yeah.
But they look good. But the Abominus, like any of those mainline combiners, you know, come on, man. If you like that stuff, like I don't know, you got to throw all kinds of accessory kits on them to make their combined mode look good. Now, third party has not made a bunch of Abominus figures, but there is one. It's made by Unique Toys. It's one of the earlier combiners. It's around 2015, 2016. Spin, if you can pull it up, you take a look at Unique Toys Abominus. It is amazing, Iceman. So to your point, I know you were just saying Abominus, like just pulling a name out of a hat. But Abominus is an example where if you want a good-looking Abominus, you have one option. And there is, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody knows a different company that's made an Abominus that looks anything close to the Unique Toys, let me know. But that's really your only option. So here's my question. If you want the best Abominus, you must go third party. And I'm looking for Spin to put it up on the screen. If you wanted to put it up next to the Power of the Primes Abominus, which would be a damn joke.
Well,
you know.
Well, I don't know.
But what do you think,
I don't know if you know that they do have an updated one on Hasbro Pulse website.
But it's Power of the Primes.
Just to inform you, it's the updated version. It's not the Power of the Primes one. It's an updated version.
Yeah, let me
no, hold on. Updated or a new model, a new figure?
It's Abominus. It's the newest one that they came out with, and this is third party.
Okay, well, let's look at it. I didn't know about that, so let's look at the Hasbro Pulse. But this is the Unique Toys one that I was talking about.
Okay.
And now this figure has lots of problems. Now I'm not telling you, and that's your Power of the Primes, right? So it's like one looks like this is you could buy this toy for your 5-year-old. This toy, this is a 5-year-old toy. A toy for a 5-year-old. The other one is for an adult.
No, rescue bots are for 5-year-olds.
This is the Power of the Prime because the one on Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah, let's look at Hasbro Pulse.
Slightly different from that one.
Yeah, but I mean, you just said slightly different, right? So it's not going to be in the ballpark of that Unique Toys figure. Now, grant you, that Unique Toys figure is a $600 figure, right? And this we're talking about a $60, $100 figure.
I don't care. I'm just saying, I just look for the quality of the figure. I don't care about the money. The money is not the issue.
But Calvin, are you telling me that the Hasbro Pulse one is going to be better quality than the third-party one I just showed you?
I don't mind buying it. You know what I mean? I just don't. There it is. I just don't mind buying it. Look at that.
Here we get a full $200. Oh my God. Okay, let's get a full screen. You can't fit it on. Okay, there we go. Come on, man. It's not complete garbage, but like compared to the Abominus I'm showing you, it's garbage. You're literally comparing like a cigarette to a cigar.
But I don't mind buying it. Just telling you.
Yeah, look, Calvin, why do you keep saying that? I don't understand why you're saying you don't mind buying it.
I don't mind buying it because it's something that I like versus people just telling you what you should go out there because that same $600 figure might not be worth the $600 of what you may purchase.
No, I guarantee you it's not worth it. I would not recommend you spend the $600 on a figure. But it's a bet. But come on, you're not going to tell me that this.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's something that I like. I like what I like to collect and what I like to buy. If I want to go out of a $600 figure, that motherfucker better be taller than my fucking son. I'm just stating the fact, bro. I don't play games.
I don't know, man. I think you're being a little
Fortress Maximus.
Yeah.
Should we go to that? Speaking of which, Calvin, I don't know of any Abominus that's going to be taller than your son. I also don't know how tall your son is, but depending on his age, he might be shorter than this Fortress Maximus that's coming out.
Yeah, I just like to point out I'm over here having fun with my $30-ish toys that I can instantly transform.
Right?
Look. I mean, you got
miserable. I'm
basically.
like, hey.
It's whatever floats
you
your
gotta
boat
figure.
makes you happy.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, you like your answer to my question. Like I said, assuming you have Wheeljack, so you didn't have Wheeljack. You picked this guy instead. So already you have. Yeah.
Wait, what is the?
But you've escaped the criticism because you didn't buy the same fans toys.
Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal. Hannibal is not the Fortress Maximus, but we'll start with Hannibal. Hannibal is Cerebros. Cerebros. Yeah, Anthony. What I was saying is because you didn't buy two of the same mold. So,
I mean, I have, but like not in this case.
so in this case, you escaped the criticism.
Yeah.
But you're still a mainline sycophant, and of course everybody knows that.
I got the new hubcap they did on the way, Grifter. So like not entirely, but it's very case by case for third party with me.
The new hubcap by what company?
Ocular Max.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not a very frequent thing for me. I just got it as a one-off because I like hubcap, and I wanted to see what Ocular Max did with it, and it went up on ages 3 and up. So
yeah, absolutely.
And particularly, I got the Generation Selects one up there that I really like. So I'm like, that'll be interesting to directly compare them.
So Spin, while you're looking for that Fans Toys Hannibal images of that, Calvin, let me ask you this, just back to what you were saying. So you tend to buy official figures, not 3P, but you also told me that you, like any figure that comes out, you're looking for the best looking one. So if that's the case, I don't know why a majority of your masterpiece scale collection wouldn't be Fans Toys, because everybody agrees that Fans Toys tends to, not in every case, for instance, their Hot Rod is not the best. But then again, there isn't, it may be the best of the available masterpiece scale figures. So generally, they make the best masterpiece scale figures. Do you not agree?
I don't know. My only experience with Fans Toys was
I'm just stating that it's to me, it's 50-50 because Fan Toys, I don't too much care about it. Only thing I'm just telling you, I ain't everybody. I don't care what everybody's opinions are. I just like what I like to buy. I don't get along with everybody else because I know what I like. Now, if people are saying, okay, now I got this figure, it's the greatest figure, I check into it. I do my research.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to go out here and just, because you and 50 other people like that figure, now I got to go buy that figure? Nope. Because I'm going to do my research. After y'all 50 got the figure, I'm going to do my research to see if I like it or not. And then I'm going to give my opinion that, okay, I will get it and I might not get it because of these reasons. So that's just me. That's why I said.
Makes sense. We got Toy Warp Vintage Reviews. He's been here, but he's got to roll out. He says, fun show as usual.
Yeah.
Who else we got in the comments? Let's get some questions from the audience.
It's a quiet evening today.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll disappear and become the audience again. I like to make fun of you guys from the sidelines.
It's Mother's Day.
Fucking Statler and Waldorf all in one.
So anyway, we got something going on Anthony's camera.
Yeah, I was just pulling out these. I mentioned I was at my friend's a couple days ago, and he has a 3D printer, so I 3D printed some Transformers accessories that I.
I really want to see that. I'm really interested in that.
Like I said, I'm gonna paint these eventually, but they're just like straight out of the pack right now. The first thing I got.
Sorry, Anthony. Let me interrupt 1 second. I'm going off camera, but I'm going to be watching you. I'm just going to get to show you guys the stuff that I bought today, but I'm excited to see what you 3D printed.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I got a couple of copies of Transformers Prime RC's arm blades.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if these fit on the Legacy one, but I didn't intend to get that, but I might change it. I have the old RID one here, which only came with one blade. So, 3D print two of them. Hello, TF Fan Page 101 on YouTube. So I'm just gonna fit these things in here. Hopefully they work. I have not tested these yet. Like, these are like fresh out of the box. I might need to like sand them down or something. Oh no, they fit just barely. I'm probably gonna sand these pegs. And just go over these in silver with my Gundam marker. Yeah. It took like 4 hours to print this box of it. He put all of them together in a cube and printed them all out. So yeah, these are new arm blades. So she's got two of them and they match. What's next? Yeah. All right. The gut gun for Cheetor, for Kingdom Cheetor, who did not come with one.
Right.
Gonna paint that yellow eventually. Let me see if I can fit that in there. Okay, this fits perfectly. Like, that's a good looking accessory.
Yeah,
and I got both yellow and pink Gundam markers, so I can paint that in later. So the third thing, I'm not totally sure how these work. These are clips for Siege Springer so that you can keep his swords on his back. Yeah. Okay, I immediately see how these work. They go in these 5mm pegs in the back here. Once again, it's probably going to be a tight fit, and I think I'm going to want to eventually sandpaper these down a little bit. Fit them in the port there. That one fits better. So I only have one of his swords here. The other one's stashed away, but apparently you can clip it in. Let me see if I can get this. Oh yeah, it's going to be a tight fit.
TF Fan Page 101 from YouTube says, I like the gut gun for Night Prowler, but I'd also like to get Night Prowler.
Yeah, he's going to be a Walmart exclusive. So.
Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed what's going on. I think they're starting to release the figures in Walmart.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. I think Sandstorm, Night Prowler, and two other Buzz-Off, and another figure.
Yeah. I'll try these clips later. I definitely got to sand them down a tiny bit because they're a bit tight. But yeah, these were like straight out of the resin, so I haven't like done anything to these yet. And the last one, it came out a little bit warped because we took a chunk out of it accidentally. But this accessory is meant to go with Generation Select's Megatron. Try to keep him on camera here. And it lets you shoulder mount his weapon like the classic toy could.
Like the G1 where he has the cannon on his shoulder.
Yeah, so you clip this in here. Tight squeeze, but it fits. And then you can take one of his weapons and gotta remember to keep it on camera. Not quite ready for prime time yet.
Yep.
Actually,
they sure do.
Yeah, I'll use the fusion cannon. The weird part is, he says, like the Legacy Beastwave, the Night Prowler, Sandstorm, and Buzzsaw have plastic windows in the boxes. Oh yeah, when they're trying to move away from that. Oh, nothing's broken. I just gotta snap it in.
So yeah, they're starting. They start showing up now, which I'm very happy about because I did pre-order those guys on the Walmart website, and I never understood it because if you go to, I think it's Prime, well, some Transformers Prime or something, wherever that page is, they got the stuff available right now. You can buy it, but it's a little pricey.
Oof, yeah, it's never worth like the advanced sales or anything.
$40 per each figure.
Oh,
That's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah,
Price gouging.
that's for sure.
That's like 2 figures per each one, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have to sand some of these down before I can use them. 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Right now the blades work nice. And right now the gut gun works nice. It's
so
not bad
TF
for a
fan
first
page
attempt.
101 from YouTube says, I don't think Walmart Canada had the pre-orders.
Oh yeah. No.
What?
Walmart
I
Canada.
thought
Nobody
y'all
get
did it for
these.
like because they did it openly. They had I think it's like a con or something, like a toy con, whatever it was. You go to Walmart website, because for us, we had to wake up early in the morning and pre-order this stuff, and come to find out the bots and scalpers just got everything first dibs, and then they did it the second day.
Yeah.
Wow.
For what it's worth, during that fan panel where that Evangelist and others were a part of, the designers were like, yeah, we're aware of this and we're trying to we're not really sure what we can do about it, but this is why they try to make like some stock available on Hasbro Pulse also as a way to like try and get around it.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay. It's kind of a crappy fit right now because that peg is like way too tight, and I have to sand it down. But you can sort of shoulder mount it. Like once I get the inside of this peg like more sanded, that'll go flush instead of kind of sticking out like that.
Nice.
But yeah, it lets you shoulder mount it like the actual G2 toy. Yeah, so I'm gonna Gundam marker over the gut gun. Gundam marker over these arm blades, and yeah, I mean, maybe 3D print some more stuff. Just my friend lives about an hour and a half away, so it's not like I can constantly go up there and grab things. But it's an interesting first set of things, as far as an experiment goes. Yeah, I was trying to get a fishing rod for Hot Rod as well, but it was too like the cube of plastic that this whole thing was made from was like not big enough to do that. So that's a future project because he says he's going to get a bigger printer. Yeah, it's an interesting set of stuff.
So TF fan page, quick question: Where are you watching us from? I'm assuming you're also in Canada.
Yep, I think he's in Canada too because I watch his shows.
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
Oh, you watch his shows? Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get this in here. Yeah, but while I'm here, maybe I'll illuminate this a little more and pop open my wheeljack that I had sitting here.
In a few minutes, around 9:30, we will jump into our main topic, which is what if StarScream was the leader of the Decepticons?
That's why I got these guys here.
Yep. Also ties in with what if Megatron / Galvatron didn't come back to destroy him, and the key question is what was StarScream's main order as the leader of the Decepticons? What would have been his main order to lead of the Decepticons if he wasn't interrupted?
I mean, personally, I think it would have been a disaster, but that's just knowing the character.
Oh, come on. I don't think it would have been a disaster. I think that he would have united both parties to fight a bigger cause. And stuff like if he is kind of power hungry. I keep this in mind.
Mm-hmm.
We have a person that gets a little power, it can change him. But if he's on the average level on that day, he can actually figure stuff out. And that's why Megatron kept him around so much, because the man is a strategist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oof. By the way,
this is true.
These parts are fresh out of the resin, so they stink once you get too close to them. Third stuff that comes right out of a 3D printer. It smells like when electronics overheat and start to melt the plastic. That's exactly what it
Oh.
smells like. It's not
Ooh.
it's not too bad now, but if you get real close and take a whiff, you're like, oof, that is
Right.
that smells like bad things. StarScream would try to join forces if it benefits him, says TF fan
Yep.
page 101. Yeah. You look at the one continuity where he did get to rule for a significant amount of time, which was the first round of IDW Comics, where the war ended and he managed to finagle his way into becoming president of Cybertron, of like free Cybertron. And he actually ran the planet for a very long time. Poorly and corruptly, but like he stayed in office for a long time. Like he started up some secret police. He tried to colonize other planets. It was a whole thing.
I mean that almost sounds basically like the government in a lot of countries.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, this was yeah. Everybody made their comparisons come 2016, but
Okay.
it was a fun run of comics. Eventually, how it shook out was Windblade wound up inside his mind, and they had a moment where Starscream got to assume what his true form was supposed to be, because in the IDW comics, because he was a seeker, he was put in a prefabbed body, and it convinced him to have a bit of a change of heart and like admit all the crimes that he did while he was president of Cybertron. And so then next election, Windblade became the planet's leader.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's Bumblebee Wheeljack, by the way. I just opened him. And I mentioned this before, but in the Marvel comics, Starscream never got to lead, even though the Decepticons were constantly changing leaders. First it was Megatron, and then Shockwave took over, and then Ratbat of all people, like the little tape, took over because he was like a fuel auditor, and
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Soundwave was like the interim leader. Whenever there was always a power vacuum, he'd always take over and then immediately give it up when somebody else came by, even though he was like the most successful leader. And I know eventually both Thunderwing and Bludgeon have turns as the leader.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a Bludgeon here that I happen to have.
The Pretender.
Yeah, the Pretender. He took over for a while, like right at the end of the series. Again, there was a power vacuum. He was ambitious. He was a lot more dangerous in the comic because he was like a Metallicato fighting master.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. TF fan page 101 says, still haven't found that wave of Bumblebee Studio Series figures yet. Yeah, I have. These guys are pretty common up here in Canada. The only one that I haven't seen is Braun, but you can get him off the GameStop website, so I'm probably going to order him off there. But yeah, this is this is the only Wheeljack I have. Well, okay, I have Transformers Prime Wheeljack, but this is the only more traditional one that I have at the moment. And it's just a stumpy little guy with kind of his face reminds me of the Alternators one because of how he's got like the bent antenna. That was a detail from that guy. And yeah, he's got the wings. His proportions are a little bit chunky, probably because like the actual toy is a brand new sculpt, but his movie character model was created from Bumblebees because like they added the Cybertron bits like last minute. Yeah. So that these two don't share any parts, but you can kind of tell looking next to them, they got like the same proportions, like the big torso and the stumpy legs, for screen accuracy.
Yeah, it's just Bumblebee and Clipjumper, they share the same body.
Yeah. Looking forward to transforming this guy in a minute because they did something interesting with his made-up vehicle mode. Yeah. I like the detail of the little wheels built into his back. I think that looks nice.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm going to try and give this guy a transformation here.
Well, Calvin, before we jump into the main topic, any rant for this week?
Oh yeah, today I went looking around. I went to my local comic book store, and you won't guess what I seen on the counter. Premium finish Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, and Megatron, and I also seen the small camera reflectors.
Reflector.
Okay.
Which Optimus was this? Was it the Bumblebee one or the Siege one?
The Bumblebee one, and also the Siege.
Yeah, because I got the premium finish of the Bumblebee Optimus. I didn't get the Siege one though.
So they wanted $64 for all three. So this coming Friday, I'm gonna do my little skip, backflips, and my little Michael Jackson moonwalk. Walk in the store again. I come to bargain. I need 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Here's the man himself.
Yep. See, I got the original one. I got the one that Target had. It's the masterpiece, and they had him on sale. I think he was like $99 or something, and I bought him off the shelf.
Yeah. This guy's real fun. Like, I had the original and I got this guy as an upgrade and sold the other one. And I'm like, yeah, it was already a great figure, but like they go the extra mile on this guy. So yeah, in fact, if you go onto my website audience at childrenofprimus.com/news and reviews, I gave both this guy and the original write-ups. So reviews and pictures. So go on there and give it a read.
I shall do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Very
just got to
nice.
go back into my archive. Something I've started doing now is all my written reviews now, the most recent ones, I make sure at the bottom there's a link to my like archive, so you just go to the bottom and click, and it'll take you to my list of all the reviews I've done.
Many hours and days of reading of reviews.
Oh yeah, it's triple digits now already. Like probably almost 200 at this point.
Nice.
I do one of these a week now, and then now once first Friday of every month I look at something non-Transformers related just for a lark, and yeah, I'm gonna start transforming this wheeljack here in a minute, but we can by all means keep talking. This is gonna be background activity. Stick his gun there, according to the instructions.
I got a question. It's contained to that actual with the StarScream.
Yeah.
Why can't we get a different body for StarScream? Like a updated, like 2022, like a new body, everything.
I mean, I'd like to see it. Surely the Bumblebee one was sort of that, because it's a vastly different design from how he's traditionally looked.
Because the reason why I say that, because I like to see the one, if they can give us the one when they merged with G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah, the Sky Striker.
So I wish that we can get that with the Cobra signs on the wings, get the missiles and everything on it, and make it a masterpiece. We can get one in camel, or we can just get the one with the red and blue and black, or gray. Add it to that, and give us two of those features of StarScream.
I think it would be a good idea, and considering that they're already doing at least one G.I. Joe crossover, I don't think it's unreasonable to say there could be more if it does well. Yeah. I'm just going to be changing this guy here.
That's just what I was hoping for, but we just speak with our pockets instead of just saying what we like. I think Hasbro would change, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen third party do anything different.
Yeah. Well, it's very... The more expensive a figure is, the less risk is going to be involved usually. So that's why expensive stuff like third parties is almost universally like G1 remakes because they're trying to make sure that they have that market down pat. Like you see that in mainline Transformers too, most of the time. Metroplex being an exception to that. The larger the figure, the safer the move they're going to make. So I think that's one reason why I like these little guys so much more is because they're more willing to do weird things.
I mean, you do have exceptions like Fans Hobby is a third-party company that they came out, and I think their first masterpiece scale figures were the Monster Bots, and they're pretty well reviewed, right? They did really big Monster Bots, and they're good. They were a good price, relatively speaking, well reviewed, and those are like crazy obscure characters, right? Those are characters that none of us really thought we were going to get in masterpiece scale from any company. So occasionally you have things like that, and that's also one of the things that's really cool about X Transbots. I have lots of complaints about X Transbots KFC as I've voiced on the show. But one cool thing is that they're making these really obscure characters for us, right? So run a buck and run them out, run your mouth, run your motherfucking mouth. They made those guys, which we didn't expect to get those in mainline either, and we got some pretty good figures in mainline for those guys. But the Omnibots, for instance, right? They're making all of those, and those sculpts look really nice, right? I'm sure you guys have seen those sculpts.
Yeah.
And so that's like a special thing that's really what I think is the most amazing thing about third party is because it's so niche, it really can target like the things that a few thousand of us really want, right? That's what's really cool is that we have this variety where like a mainstream product, to your point, mainline mainstream, it has to appeal to millions of people or, hundreds of thousands of people for it to be economically viable. But for a third party product, it can be, just all that has to happen is it's 5,000 people who are going to buy it no matter what. 10,000 people are going to buy it no matter what, and then you can make it. And so that's why we can have all these, awesome, really niche things that we can, that we're all into.
Right.
Well, it's funny that you're saying that because essentially, I would say maybe about half an hour ago, I had a question that I was going to throw out there, and you kind of answered that question, which then kind of creates another question to my question. Essentially, I was going to say, in terms of combiners, these companies just keep putting out the same original set of combiners. So we've got like 6,000 Devastators, 1 million Superions, 1 billion Minosaurs, but they always seem to skip over Defensor, Predaking, Piranacon, Computron, and Abominus, as if people aren't interested in those characters. But then you basically answered it with the third party is covering those other characters that people are interested in. Because like I'm a Piranacon fan since '87, but many people don't realize that. But now it creates this other question of the fact that these main companies have put out 1 million of those same original characters. At some point, will people say, we've already bought these characters like 1,000 times, start putting out like, the other characters that existed in G1 that were a bit later, still in the cartoons, still in the comics, like we know of them. But how many times can you put out Minosaur, but not put out like Predaking?
Well, so here's the thing. So excellent point. And you're right that like the aspect of third party that I talked about, Primetime says he's not a fan of third party stuff. Primetime, tell us why. And I'm going to get, now I've given you one reason for what's special about third party is that it's niche products, right? So true. But there is still, and when third party is doing like when it's really doing its role, then that's what it's doing, is it's giving us the characters that are just not economical or just don't, make it past the boardroom for Takara doing Masterpiece or for Hasbro doing Mainline, whatever it is. However, although your figures are a little bit hyperbolic with thousands of Menasors and et cetera,
Right.
really we're talking about 2 or 3, sometimes 4, all right, options here. So it's not a lot. But it's too much. The reason why, here's the point, is that it's too much. Let me make the point. Let me make the point. Is that when you have, even if it's 4, right? Even if it's 3 or 4, right? Like we had with the Trailbreaker, right? That we just saw, right? There was 3 Trailbreakers that came out, and then there's 2 more now that are yet to come out, right? Now, I think the one, if we're talking about what character did we see the most reveals for, it was Springer. There was a point where there were 7 Springer Masterpiece scale Springers. People were trying to figure out which one they're going to get. Meanwhile, right? So after like the first company and the second third-party company announces that they're going to make this figure, the question is, why does the third and fourth company come out and say, oh, I'm going to make that too, instead of giving us a different character that we want? And so that is the downside. That's the dark side of third party, which is that it's really cutthroat. So I'm here, criticizing. Of course, we criticize Hasbro for being a major corporation. Major corporations do the evil things that major corporations do. But with third party, these are small Bandulu companies operating in the gray area of the law across international lines. And so they also, although they're doing some good things, they're doing a lot of really bad things. And some of the, let me not say a lot of really bad things. I like them. But they're doing some really bad things. And one of those things is trying to undercut each other, right? So rather than, for instance, New Age and Magic Square, like Magic Square announces, oh, we're making Wheeljack. I'm saying Wheeljack because we got a Wheeljack on the screen. If they announce, if Magic Square puts up a Wheeljack next week, then 2 weeks later, New Age is going to show some renders of a Wheeljack, whether or not they were planning to make him 2 weeks ago. And the company that is most guilty of this, the company that is, New Age has done this, but the company that is the number one culprit of this is one of the companies with the best reputations in third party, and that's Fans Toys, right? One thing that Fans Toys, people know this about Fans Toys, is that X-Transbots will have a figure coming out, or they have something that, a reissue coming out, and then Fans Toys will say, oh, we're making that character. And they don't even have a figure. They don't have molds. They just have pictures that they drew, right? They got a 3D render, and they do that to sabotage the sales of the other company. And so that's a really unfortunate thing that happens in third party. And that, my friends, that is the reason why we do have how many Menasors in third party? I think we have 2 that are out. And the Fans Toys one is not completed, right? So there's 3. There's DX9. We went over these all last week, right? There's DX9, there's X-Transbots, and there's Fans Toys. So we don't need all 3 of these companies to have been doing this, right? After the first one announced it, after the second one announced it, we really could have used whatever that third company was to say, oh, damn, there's already 2 Masterpiece scale Menasors. Let me just go to Defensor real quick. Right? That's what we need them to do, and that's what they didn't do. And that made a friend of mine lose his head, especially during this earlier conversation that we were having. All right? Can I get a full screen? Yeah, so this guy lost his head over that whole Abominus talk. Because honestly, there are because like we said, we got a bunch of Superions, we got a bunch of Menasors, And the only the only masterpiece scale Abominus option is the one I showed you. It's from 5 years old, and it's a fiddly piece of crap, and it costs $600. And I don't recommend that you buy it. Right? If you must have an Abominus masterpiece scale in your collection, that's your only option. But we need something better. We could have used one of these companies instead of making the third Menasor or the fourth Devastator, right? Let somebody, one of them's doing Devastator. We need somebody else doing an Abominus and a Computron.
I tell you what. Here's the challenge to the third-party companies. Give me a God Neptune. If you can give me that, you fucking sold me. Until then, if they can't live up to the challenge, fuck them.
I mean, God Neptune.
You heard it here first.
Well, Calvin, we are starting a third-party Transformers company here. Once we get the requisite number of subscribers on Patreon.
I tell you what. Yes. Here's what I have. I have Quintesson standing by.
Excellent.
And I have drones standing by, so we can get that done right now.
Excellent. Well, listen. If you want to see, listen. Once we get to 10,000 subscribers on Patreon, if you want to see Iceman launch his drones and Quintessons to come get me, you got to take us to 10,000 subscribers, and you're going to see a battle. Drones is coming at Professor D. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be Sharkticons. There's going to be doors getting knocked down. The Dinobots is going to say, excuse me, it's going to be wild. You heard it here first, children of Primus.
You're just standing outside your house like, come at me.
Come at me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. Friday. I'm going to light up Children of Primus.
There you go.
It's either God Neptune.
Well, you know what? Funny enough, with
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I'm just saying.
With all the third parties.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say with all the third parties when they keep jumping on kind of doing they keep jumping on a character that another company has already done. There is that one exception of the Superion that I saw a couple weeks ago, where they've only released the images of that one character so far, and I think they probably win the title in terms of complexity and detail accuracy.
Yeah. I think it's called Dream Studio, and they have the first limb was released last year. The second limb is just coming out now of the set.
Okay.
So that is so we call that like a stylized Superion, right? As opposed to, people say stylized as opposed to something that is trying to match the G1 aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
What is StarScreams later? Hey, listen, are you guys ready for my show and tell? Because I ended up going to Walmart.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let me get full screen. All right, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Finally got that guy. So Bill, I don't know where Bill's at. Shout out to Bill if you're watching. Bill told me he would give me one of his extras, but I found it, so you're off the hook. But yeah, as you guys were talking about, like, love the artwork. Like, that just looks so dope, right? That plaster on there.
Can I? You got the face scope. Gotta be. If it got a smirk, it's a variant.
Oh, it doesn't look like a smirk.
Yeah, it's a normal then.
This was the only one on the shelf.
Wow.
This was the last one, and there were 20 of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this guy's gonna get. I thought maybe I shouldn't buy this, even though I've wanted it, because you guys have been talking about it. The reviews are, like some people say he's good but boring, right?
Yeah.
Basically, he's a box. So that's what the reviews say. So no plastic, right? And these guys are open. And this box was banged up too, but I had no option. I wanted the blaster. The other box is in better shape. But this guy's going to get clearanced out, I think, because there are so many of him. Now, speaking of clearance, I only bought this because it was on clearance.
Ooh, Leonardo and Rocksteady.
You got it for 35 or 25?
25.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. Leonardo and Rocksteady. So, I don't know much about these figures, but I mean, they look really highly articulated. I got it for $10 off. Regular price is 35.
I have those.
Yeah. Oh, so tell me how they are, Cal. Oh, but Calvin, you don't open them, right?
Yeah, they're good figures. And right now they got your Triceratops and Leonardo. I think it's Leonardo, and then you got the other one with the Shredder. No, it's Michelangelo with the Triceratops, and then you got Leonardo versus Shredder.
Okay.
So I can go on the Dork Side Toys and just buy them because we have people here just like the scalp, and you got the employees that I got to contend with. They're stealing figures.
Scalping and stealing figures. All right. Well, let me keep going here. Here, this is. Let me get the full screen again. So Bill showed us this recently.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So got that guy. And now this guy, I don't know if any of you guys are interested in this, but I got him because I'm filling out my Justice League figures in all scales. You guys saw that I have you see them right above the closet there?
Yep.
That's Justice League in 12-inch scale. So I got all of them there.
Oh, I got to show you something. I got to show you something. You probably gonna like it.
All right.
I got the Chase Robin.
Oh.
What's that? Oh, let's see it. Oh, nice.
He's like golden.
Oh, that is pretty
actually,
dope.
he has some colors.
Mm-hmm.
What color? It's hard for us to see the colors. What color is it? Describe it.
It's gray.
Okay.
Yep. So I've been finding chases this whole 2 weeks of DC figures.
Oh, okay. It's like that. Like they're designed to be special figures.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chase. It's like an official chase figure as opposed to a variant.
Yep.
Cool. Let me go back to the last few things I got here. So this was a surprise.
Yep, I seen that too.
Oh yeah, those metal guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so they're
cool.
metal. So I was just showing you, last week I was showing you all the little dudes that I have, little plastic guys that I have with my Metroplex, right? So this is going to be great for the city bots.
Yep.
They're metal, they're heavy, they're nice, and this was like $11. So this was a good deal, 100% die-cast.
So I passed it up when I was at Walmart today.
Yeah, how come? I mean, it doesn't fit your collection, but it seems like good bang for buck. You know what? And I always criticize non-transforming Transformers, but I think this is a different kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Yeah. So speaking of looking good,
looking at that, go back to that box for a moment.
Yeah,
and
this Ironhide.
I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on this the minute you looked at this box.
What? Like one of them not looking good?
Are in? No. How many characters are?
Dude, I got to go back and get that.
It's pretty cool. Spin. How many characters? You're asking me how many there are?
Yeah, it looks like about 20 or 24?
Like 18.
18?
Yeah, 18. 18. Yeah, it was 18. And sorry, go ahead.
Now, do you know if there's any other packs like that with other characters?
I don't know if there are, but I want you guys to buy these because I want them to make the rest of them.
Because
these are dope. I'm gonna bust
if
this open right now while we're talking. Go ahead.
if there's another set with other with other characters,
Yeah.
lay them out on a board, and what do you have?
Oh yeah! Oh dude, I'm not even gonna say it because that's so genius. So look what else this comes with is I think they have they got a cardboard cutout inside, so you could do a little display for Optimus and for Megatron.
Nice.
Oh, that's real cool.
Comes
Yeah,
with little
that is
cutouts for them. Yeah, but think about that. I mean, that's just you use that as your inspiration for your design, but you go make
Right.
one for each of them. You just print it out and stick them on there. But yeah, Spin, exactly what you just said.
Yeah, like this is better than what was suggested, around many months ago.
But I'm gonna pull one out so you can see them close. Because the paint on this is just, I'm loving it. See
I
how
feel like,
close I can.
yeah, they make good companion pieces for those metal vehicle mode figures that they did. Though I think they only did the 3, the Optimus, Bumblebee, and Starscream. They should do a full set of those to go with these.
Oh, that's a really nice detail and a perfect size to go with it.
Yeah.
Those are you get your Titan class figures and populate them with that. That's exactly what they seem like they're made for.
Yeah, I mean that's bang for buck. $11 for 18 of these guys to do exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Or to put on a chessboard or whatever, right? The paint. Look at this Ironhide. I want to show you the Ironhide because that's the one that's jumping out to me with the shiny paint. Oh, actually, maybe you guys will like this character. A little cliche.
Nice and barrel chested.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that is a nice sculpt. Look at that detail. That is a nice sculpt. That's better than the dollar store one that I have. Trust me.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pass by Walmart and see if I can find that.
Yeah.
Show us the
let me show
hot
you.
rod.
Oh yeah, no problem. He looks pretty good, man. These all look good.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's a good.
Wow.
Look at that chest. That's a lot. That's good detail on the chest with the flames and the logo.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's better than on most hot rod figures.
Yeah.
Now we just need this to be articulated and transformed. All right. So now for something slightly less Transformers related, I got this
Oh yeah. I hear good things about this whole line.
on clearance.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't even get me started. I ain't gonna say nothing. I got the new figures. Just let y'all know. Yes, I got the new figures. So, and Target tried to play me this last Tuesday. I walked in the store just like what he just did. He got those. Did you get those from Walmart?
No, yeah, Walmart. Yeah. Keep me on full screen so I'll show you the 3 I got. Iceman, you can keep talking. Tell us the story.
So
But
yeah.
let me just hold on. Let me just show you the 3 I got. So I got the Wind Raider, and this is on clearance right now. So if you want to grab it, it's normally like $45. It's on sale for $33.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I thought about doing some scalping. I thought about there was like 3 of them there, but I was like, nah, $33 times 3. Or I thought maybe I'll just get 3 Wind Raiders and do a display. But Stridor, I never had this as a kid. Never even saw this in real life as a kid.
Oh,
so,
nice.
but I remember the episode where he was invented. It was like they made a robot horse, and then halfway through the episode, he develops feelings, and so they have to let him go free. It's a good story. And lastly, realistic
Panther.
Yes, you know about it. So they already released this. For those who don't know, Calvin already knows. They already released this Panther, but he didn't have the fur. So now they've re-released him with sort of the velvet, and that's what he had in the 80s. So the 80s Panther was this size, but he had no articulation, but he did have the fur. And now the latest version that they just put out recently was articulated, but it didn't have the fur. Now we have the collector's edition, it says at the bottom. So you have to spend $40 again after you already bought this same figure. But we've added fur, so please, it's not just a repaint, you see.
Mhm.
It's a It's a refur. It's a referral. Yes, it's been refurbished.
It's a referral.
Yeah, because Target got the original Panther, and that's on clearance too right now. I think it's for $7 here at our Target.
Damn,
And-
I paid the regular price for it, probably from Target. I probably bought that for $30 or $25.
Yep. So all that stuff is being marked down right now. Like you just the Strider, they may mark that down in our Walmarts because nobody's not buying them. But at first we had those guys that go in the store, they buy everything up and then they sell it for $80 to $90. So
Well, I got to start doing that.
have fun with that. So yeah, I'm still gonna call the cops on you.
You can call the cops on me every Sunday night, and I'll report my crimes every Sunday night. We'll make it simple.
It's a segment on the show.
They were like,
Yeah.
hey, they're gonna come in like, where's the Strider? Where's the Strider? We want to ride it.
Where's the scalper? Where's the scalper?
This segment on the show, I report myself.
I cleared out the clearance aisle. I'm guilty. Lock me up. I'm hot. Yo, bro. I'm hot as sriracha. I'm sriracha supreme.
Holy shite.
Ooh.
I'm staying out of that situation. I don't know nothing about that. Like I just said, it was crazy, man, last Tuesday. I stayed in that store for an hour at Target. They had the figures in the back. They had 4 cases. They come in a case of 4, the new Eternia He-Man, the Revelations.
Revelations, yeah. Are
So
you
I
collecting
walked
that?
Oh yeah, oh yes.
So we got to show each other our collections. I got a whole collection in the other room. I'll show you next week, maybe. You can pull yours out too.
And you know what's crazy about that? Like, I guess the dude told me at first, well, we don't have them in stock. I said, that's kind of weird. How you don't have something in stock if you don't check? Because sometimes Irritator is out of stock, but they got the boxes in the back.
Yeah.
So, and then he turned around, he's like, oh, look, we got 12. We got 12 that just came in. I said, oh, that's kind of strange now.
Did they just come in between the minute ago that you told me we didn't have none, and right now when you checked?
And so that and that's why I was like, I said, yeah, y'all on that BS again. So he said, well, I'm gonna go in the back and get the ones you want. And then he said the toilet lady comes in at 8:00. So I waited till 8:00, and then so they had to go in the back and do the inventory. I guess 30 minutes of them pulling the figures out.
Wow.
So it took an hour from 8:30 to 9:00. Nobody still didn't come out from the back. So the toilet lady told me to write down my information, what the figures you need. I said, well, I need the whole wave. Just Merman, Tila, Barbarian, Skeletor, and Barbarian He-Man.
I think I might. I need Merman. Of all of those, I need Merman.
So, and I never got a phone call. I waited 3 days, no phone call. So Thursday, I walked into that same Target. They was on the shelf. 5. So that means that the employees took 7 of the figures.
Okay.
And I said, and then I said, I need to speak to a manager right now. So the manager, she came over like, okay, what's the problem? I said, well, man, I've been waiting on the phone call for 3 days, and nobody has been contacting me about these figures. But I walked over there on the shelf. I thought you guys was gonna call me, so you guys put them on hold for me, so I can come pick them up. I didn't get no apology. I didn't get a gift card. I didn't get nothing. So I ended up
Walmart does not. Wait, this is Target or Walmart?
This is Target.
Oh wow.
Here in Minnesota, this is what they're doing. They're telling us lies, but the employees get first dibs on the figures and selling them. Turn around and work for toy groups. They come and have their friends come in and get the cases and leave out the back door.
But Calvin, isn't that what you would do if you worked there? Like, wouldn't you be getting the cases from?
Why would I do that? Because
if Anthony worked there, wouldn't you be going there and asking Anthony to hook you up? If you
I
got
don't
the
ask for
voice.
hookups. I only ask for one thing. I come there, I do my due diligence. You take my damn money and give me my damn figures.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to play games with me, now I can get your ass fired. So that's
Well,
what I do.
but it seemed like the managers are in on it. Is the problem?
Yep.
Because you went to the manager.
Mhm.
And so what I did, I got my figures. So I got my other guy. I got my a barbarian He-Man, and I gave him my merman. But I had ordered another merman from Dorkside, and come to find when I went to my other Target across the street, they had Tila and Merman on the shelf.
Cool. So it worked out.
Yep.
Oh, hey. The one thing that I would like to point out about Wheeljack that I really liked about his design is they invented this mode for the toy, and they made it so that it looks like it belongs to the same series of cars as Bumblebee's alternate mode that was already in the film. It's like has like similar lines and similar wheels and everything. It's just like
That's
a
logical.
design. Yeah, I like the design that they made up because they made it look like it's the same thing.
And I think it looks better than the Bumblebee car too.
Yeah, it's got more going on.
I mean, there's more stuff, right?
Yeah. It's more Wheeljack colored. And this one here was already a War for Cybertron, the game, like reference. So it's nice to see that continued on this.
But it's also just a more sophisticated sculpt, not just Wheeljack colors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or complicated sculpt.
It's got more going on. It's just broadly the lines of it recall this one, but yeah, it's got a lot going on. Like the
I can
fronts and
see
stuff.
it. It's obvious what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
I can probably show you one of them. And then I'll show you the rest next week.
Oh, let's see the Merman.
Oh, is that 40th anniversary one or whatever?
Oh no! This is the Barbarian He-Man.
Barbarian. Oh, the whole time you were saying Barbarian, I was thinking Savage He-Man. Let's get a full screen. Oh, that is full screen. Yeah, I want to see it closer. That looks dope. Oh, I like the face sculpt too. How much is that?
$20.
That's not Revelations, right? That's Master.
Yes, it's the Revelations wave. Yeah.
Is it Revelations?
Yes, sir.
But in Revelations, he never becomes on the show. Revelations, he never becomes a barbarian.
But you know the history of this figure. That figure came out in the early '80s. So whoever got the first figure of this, they're sitting on a gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting on it. They're rich already.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? I could be wrong, but I don't think that was ever released as a figure. I think that's the concept art, like the first concept art. And when the guy designed He-Man, like he took some existing toys and he sculpted it together, and he made this barbarian-looking character. And now this figure is that, right? So it's what He-Man. It's what the very first prototype of He-Man was going to look like. That's what that is.
Yeah, but they got a model of those figures.
Yeah,
keep in mind. Yeah. So whoever got the original figure of this,
the original figure was never in the stores. It was a prototype. Yeah.
Yep.
That's nice. That's very cool.
So yeah, I got Merman coming through Dorkside, but I gave my other one to my other guy because he's looking for the figures too.
Okay.
So I gave him my Merman, which is dope. The Merman is dope.
I haven't seen the Merman yet.
Oh yeah, he's on my Instagram.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yep. Yeah, dude. And then the Skeletor is dude, he's dope. He's dope. He has a beard.
Are you talking about the Skelegod?
No, Skeletor. You want to see him?
Skeletor. Yeah, sure.
All right, give me a minute here. I got to go fight New Say back from Mortal Kombat to get my figures.
Are we spin? Is Olati coming on tonight?
I'm not sure. He said he was, but he might have been tied up.
Okay, but he said he left a message saying he was coming at 9, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
Nice.
Ooh. He doesn't have skin, but he does have facial hair.
Now, but you're saying that this is Revelations?
Yes, sir.
Does it say that on the box? I don't see where it says Revelations.
It won't say Revelation, but it's Masterverse. So
Yeah,
they're going over
that's what I
universe.
said. That's what I said. It's Masterverse is not Revelations, is what I was saying.
Right. Instead of part of it, they just expanding. That's all they're doing. They're going through the universes.
No, yeah, exactly. And then they have some cool Masterverse stuff.
But now I heard rumors now they're gonna do the one from 2000X.
Okay.
So we're gonna be getting those characters too. And then we're getting a She-Ra, and we're also gonna be getting Hordak and the rest of those figures.
Nice. Yeah, Hordak will be good in that scale. Do you have Mossman?
Yes, I do.
Well, you show these guys. These guys are not interested in this Master Universe stuff, but the Mossman looks really cool if you have it handy.
But like I said, it's okay because I'm OG.
I liked He-Man back in the day.
Yeah, it's one. I don't know much about it, but I do find it interesting.
No, I mean, so
the
figures
I
are
know
cool.
of the
figures
characters.
are cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I collect the Super 7 Thundercats too, and I got Jackalman today.
Ooh, what? You gotta show. Okay, are you guys into Thundercats?
Yeah, the Thundercats characters
yeah.
looking amazing.
Those are expensive figures. What he's talking about right there. Let's see that stuff.
That's this right here alone, $60 a piece. That's one, 2, 3,
Oh Lord.
4, 5, 6, and 7 is on the table.
I don't love your display option though.
No, I keep those in the box until when I get my house, I can take them out and I can just sit them there.
Yeah, you're going to display them when you got the right
on?
display.
That they also focused on the later characters, Bengali Link, and
yeah, I can open one up and show you. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, bust one out. Yeah, Spin. I agree with you. Like those latter Thundercat characters, they were really nice designs, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thundercats is a good show. Thundercats and Silverhawks. Those are good shows.
Oh yeah.
And they're doing Silverhawks.
Nice. Yeah, Anthony, you've seen those images for the Silverhawks?
Yeah. Ooh.
Man, that is a good looking figure. Talk about too inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dude, you should see Monkey and dude. Oh my goodness. Give me one. Hold on. Monkey and I got him too. And how they did them and how they scoped them, they did them. They did them justice. I'm not gonna lie. They did them justice.
Well, Lottie, were you into Masters of the Universe?
Oh
That's the
Lord!
reveal music for the character.
I just had to play my intro theme. Woo!
Like that is like the dopest figure, man.
That looks good. That looks good. You know what would be dope? Okay, now these are 7 inches, right?
Yep.
Is that the same scale as Masterverse? They're also 7 inches.
The new He-Man, the 40 anniversary is gonna be 7 inches.
So you know what would be cool? Talking about like crossover. If they're in a similar aesthetic, it'd be interesting to see that monkey on with like the Revelations Beastman, because they have a similar kind of like aesthetic. Yeah, like whatever. They are hanging out in the same jungle.
Right. Actually, they have crossed universes already. He-Man and Thundercats have already crossed. They're DC Comics.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So it makes sense. So, I mean, because think about it, like the bad guys in Thundercats are like pretty much this. They all could be characters in He-Man, right? You basically you have a lizard man, you have a monkey man, you have a bird man.
Yep.
You know, Slide. I love. So I have the original Thundercats figures from the 80s. And the bad guys were really like the good toys. Like the sculpt of Slythe looked amazing. It was like a really sophisticated, like it's what you get these days from a McFarlane Toys, like one of these really high-end companies. That's the level of sculpted detail they were doing on those Thundercats figures, and more so the bad guys.
I find figures back in the 80s, like wrestlers, like the wrestling figures, and
They were horrible.
Well, hold on, but even though they were horrible, but if you look at the details, even like the He-Man, they had like, abs on top of abs, on top of abs, and muscles on top of muscles, and they had like a chest like so huge, and it was like very detailed, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
When you look at the some of the figures today, like except for the the premium figures, okay, but like just a regular figure that you go to Walmart, right? That is like detail, like not as like like the 80s figures. I don't know if they toned it down for some stupid political reason. I don't know, but
well, you guys know if you guys, I'm sure you guys have all watched the Toys That Made Us. So like we already had, I think, like a little reference to something there when they talked about He-Man. Oh yeah, they showed that original prototype that we were just talking about, the original He-Man prototype. But also when they talked about how they came up with the concept of He-Man, it's exactly what you're talking about, Orlati. Is like the action figures that existed at the time were the Star Wars figures, right? Mm-hmm. But you look at Star Wars figures, that's a lot more figure than it is action. They may as well be called static figures, right? They just move like this. They're not action figures, they're static figures. So the guy who designed it, right, he said, like, I was looking at those figures and I was like, I wanted to like make a figure that like looked like it was in action. So they're standing, they're already in a stance that suggests they're ready to fight. Right. So, and then so the rippling muscles and all that kind of stuff, that was the design of like to convey action in the sculpt itself.
And that actually helped. Well, you're absolutely correct, and that's they take the same formula with the G.I. Joe figures. So if you look at the G.I. Joe figures from the 60s to the 80s, that's why they had more bendable parts. Right. Yep. Again, it goes back to your what you just said about the Star Wars figures, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was also
they both improved on the Star Wars figures in different ways and gave them action in different ways, right? So the He-Man figures, the way they did it was one, they made the figures bigger, right? So like literally they made them 5 inches instead of 4, right? And then they made them muscular instead of regular, like regular person proportions, Schwarzenegger person proportions. Yep. And then they did it for every figure, right? But that was largely in the sculpt. So the sculpt suggested action to you. And to your point, those wrestling figures, I hated those wrestling figures. Why? Because they weren't articulated. I would have liked them if they were articulated. But the way they were trying to convey the action instead was in the size and in the detail. Exactly as you said, right? They did all that detailed muscle, and that's to give you the impression of flexing, right? Now, Anthony, you're jumping to the future. Wait till we get there, okay? But ultimately, Transformers is the best, okay? We're going through first He-Man, then G.I. Joe, then Transformers.
Yeah,
so what G.I. Joe did...
Prime on that.
Yeah, what G.I. Joe did... What?
Oh, I just wanted to show off the 3D printed blades because I got them in there real good.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's what that is. Yeah, they look great, too.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna Gundam marker over them in silver so they match your colors, and that'll be about it.
That's dope. But you got to try the chrome markers.
Yeah, well, the silver that I have is Transformers silver specifically. It's
but it's not. But that's different than chrome, right? So they have the silver, like like your crappy Optimus Prime that you like so much. That's got silver on it, right? Your Earthrise Optimus, your mainline Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like my Optimus Prime because my Optimus Prime has silver paint.
And my Optimus Prime is still in the box.
Yeah.
My Optimus Prime's in the parking lot.
Nice.
What about yours, Calvin? Where's your
Calvin's Optimus Prime has gone to look for his creator.
Actually, this coming Friday, I got to go back to Hot Comics because they got the finished versions of Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Ultra Magnus. So I got to go
as you were
premium
saying,
finish.
yeah.
So yeah, I got to pick those up.
Now, Calvin, I hope you are not going to buy those premium colored version ones and then stick your regular colored versions one inside the box and try to return it.
Damn, you damn Skippy. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope
No,
you're
I
not
would
going to
never
do that.
No, I would never do that.
Good, because I would like to, because I would like your box, because I assume you're not going to do that. So I want the box so that I can do it.
If you're just tuning in, this is not the Children of Primus.
Oh my God. I'm like Dance Chappelle right now. It's called scams.
What do you mean scams?
It's called scam.
You're returning a box that has the toy of this figure picture on it and saying,
"Oh my goodness,
same figure, says the box figure with
something else." That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So what? Maybe some of the paint fell off. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Have you never bought a defective toy?
Yeah. Yeah. But sir, it says premium paint version. This is not the premium paint version.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, that's why I'm returning it. The paint is clearly not premium.
There was a
premium,
human error.
Premium.
The packaging, right? There was a human error in the packaging, and so I decided to bring back the figure in the package.
Okay, now Calvin, this goes over to you. The Walmarts and the Targets in your area, when you look at the staff that work in the store, do you think these staff members know what Transformers actually are?
Fuck yeah, they do. They fucking scammers.
No, see here's the
That's
thing.
a good Ironhide.
Yeah, if you were to walk into the Walmarts in our area and look at the majority of the staff, you'd be lucky if one of them even knew what Transformers were.
And that's the thing, because here we have a Pacific Toy Group that's infiltrated the stores here. Just like when I got the Love and Thunder Wave, some dude was like, "Yeah, I know the manager of that department." I said, "I bet you do." And so that's when I got all my figures and showed to him, "I bet you ain't got these." Oh, he got real mad.
Mm-hmm.
Real mad. He was hot.
Yeah,
So,
you know what?
so who is the toy group that is This is like a secret society toy group has taken over Target. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, they Walmart everywhere. Then they just invite people. Now they trying to go nationwide. If you go to YouTube or no Facebook, they're on Facebook. It's called the I don't know whether to say it or not.
Freemason versus.
You can say it. It's not Realm of Collectors, is it?
They're not collectors. What they do hold, like they hold like toy shows and stuff like that too. But it's the same damn figure that you buy in the store. So when I go,
you can say it. What is it? What is the Facebook group?
It's called the Toy Posse.
Okay.
Minnesota.
We're enemies now.
Do members of the Toy Posse they work in indie stores?
Fuck yeah, they do.
No, see, and the thing is, that's not far-fetched, because there's many other certain chains of stores where you've got a certain group of people who get into stores and automatically they're like, well, now I've run, for instance, there's 5 of us on the screen. I get into one of the stores, automatically I'm hiring the 4 of you guys into that store. And then we just kind of do the same thing. Eventually, every location, we're running everything. And it's I've seen chains that do that. So I never realized, toy stores are doing that as well. But you don't see that in the Walmarts here. Essentially, Walmart's just hire employees. They're clueless to whatever the toys are on the shelves.
So are you saying everybody has a secret society group?
Yeah.
This doesn't seem to me to be the
Like-
most lucrative. This doesn't sound like the most lucrative secret society. Like, even if these guys are criminals and ripping motherfuckers off for toys, let them do it. Like, I don't really think that's the danger.
Hey, that's on them, bro. As long as don't interfere with the fuck I'm doing. Like I just said, if I go in the store look for something, it better be on the fucking shelf. And if not, somebody can get their ass fired.
So why don't you just join the group, bro?
No, I'm in the group. But I don't like the shit that they're doing because at first there was like, hey, if you need this figure, just go to this store. It's on the shelf. So now it turned into, let's go grab everything and wait after 90 days and sell it on the market for double the price.
So they've
I got
strayed
you, I
from
got
their
you.
sacred mission.
Hold on. You guys talked about StarScream already, right?
Nah,
Yeah.
well, a little bit.
No, a little bit.
A
I was
little
about to say. See that was StarScream. That's what he will do.
Yeah. Good way to bring it on topic.
Well, you know what? Yeah, let's jump into because I mean we have about half an hour left. Let's jump onto StarScream.
Yeah. Now here's I firmly believe that it would be an unmitigated disaster were he actually given leadership for an extended period of time. Because the thing about StarScream is that he thinks he's got a lot more going on than he does in terms of his skill levels. He's not a great planner.
Yeah, that's not like Anthony. That's not like anybody we know, is it?
I'm very honest about my skill levels.
Yeah. You're probably the only one on the live stream that is.
So I kind of feel
No habla inglés.
Yeah.
Yo no capito.
I think it would be an unmitigated disaster. I think that it's the best thing that could ever happen to the Autobots because the Decepticons would probably start failing a lot more. And that's what I think of that. I also don't think he'd last very long because I think somebody else would overthrow him. I think about how in the third season of the cartoon, how Galvatron, even though he was powerful because he was off his rocker, like there was a point where basically most of his troops were in open revolt about him. They tried to send him to the web world and everything.
Right.
I think that would also happen with StarScream, but like a bit less serious because I don't think he'd have a Cyclonus in his corner bailing him out constantly. Yeah. I'd also like to point out that, as I mentioned before,
let me give you this pushback just as a question. Is I mean, I kind of hear where you're coming from. If I'm gonna make an argument in favor of StarScream, I'm gonna have to stretch because he's not a character I've ever liked. But but just to push back, the question would be this: StarScream, although he's not successful at becoming the leader of the Decepticons, he is successful at being the second most well-known Decepticon ever across all iterations of Transformers media.
Yep.
So, given that he is so successful as a character, that's got to mean that he has something going for him as a character. So even if you hate him, even if he's not your favorite character, it might be that, people love to hate him so much that he stays in people's consciousness. And this also might be a reason why he works as an elected official, right? Because a lot of politicians, it's like, if you judge by how many people that say that hate them, you wonder how could they possibly ever get elected. But the thing is, people who have catalyzing personalities, people who are big on camera, people who know how to piss other people off, right, are often the people who know how to get things done, movers and shakers.
Keeps his name in everybody's mouths.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, everybody, that's perfect. Everybody has something to say about StarScream. Most of it's not good, but everybody has something to say about it. Versus there's lots of other Decepticons. It's just like a no name,
Good evening to OptiNation Review from YouTube.
We're talking about StarScream. I'm over here just Gundam marking these things.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? So is there anybody who thinks that StarScream would be a good leader? And any reason why?
I look at Starscream as the guy that pulls the strings from behind.
No, that's Soundwave.
No, I still think Starscream is that way, because if you look at it, okay, even in the movies as well too, Starscream is always behind Megatron's ear saying, it's better to retreat now, so we could fight for tomorrow.
Well, he always has an elaborate plan, right? He's always planning something.
And you got to remember too, he's a scientist.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, he was a scientist. Okay, you can't be dumb to be a scientist. You gotta have a little bit of brains, or a little bit of RAM or CPUs in his head, I guess, if you whatever you want to pull it, right? And I find Starscream, like, this is a really bad example to use, but just go with me here. Someone like, and it kind of goes on based on what Dee was saying as well too. It kind of goes based on Hitler, and the reason why I'm saying that, okay,
because doesn't everything come down to Hitler eventually?
Yeah, I know that's why I hate using an example, but I'm going to use this example instead of what other people have used. Hitler aspired to be an artist, right?
Just like Anthony, in fact.
There you go, and that's why I'm using this example, right? So he aspired to be an artist. He wanted everything to be mapped out accordingly, like the ancient Roman days, with the buildings and architects and so forth. He also had he loved that whole enlightened era, the Romance era of that time. And he found a way to basically slither his way in, and I'm using slither because he was another voice actor, the voice actor for what's called Corporal Commander.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to slither himself in there, run a party, and had everybody do his dirty work, right? And look what happened. Now, at the end of the day, obviously, he wasn't able to keep the power, and then eventually there's a downfall. But I've always looked at Starscream as a guy that you just don't want to leave out or underestimate, because the guy can talk, the guy can build. He did create the Galvatrons, right?
Yeah.
And what were they?
I agree.
What were they? Military, vehicles, right?
The most dangerous criminals that was locked away.
They were a brigade.
Right.
They were a brigade.
So I personally believe that he played that part. I believe he made everybody to underestimate him and think this guy's an idiot, whatever. But at the end of the day, he played his part well. The only thing that stopped him, obviously, in the movie, when Galvatron came with that big blaster and just blast him. But yet, somehow, he was able to still come back, right, as a ghost in the cartoons. And if you look at the other versions of cartoons of him, he still ended up being a leader. And he ended up still being this massive technology and godlike, levels and all that. But at the end, he still fell, right? So I truly believe Starscream played his part correctly. And that's fine.
No, you know what? I'll just add one quick thing, is that I like your analogy, and I think, like, if Starscream is Hitler, then Megatron is Stalin.
Yes. You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say something like that, right?
You're not out of pocket too. IDW did deliberately play up his like workers' revolution thing as like very Stalin-esque on purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's basis for that in the comics.
And look what Stalin did with all of his all of his armies, especially the front line there in World War II when he was fighting against the Germans and he was holding them back. He just threw out his army out there and killed them all. Didn't care. He sacrificed them all, right? And that's what Megatron did the same thing as well too, right? So but like I said, I know everybody likes using the Hitler, the Stalin comparables and all that. That's why I was taking a bit of a different route and trying to do that comparison, where he's a good talker, man, and he's smart. and I think he played his part very well.
Okay, you know what would be? Wait, guys.
Very valid points.
Absolutely. So, how many subscribers is it going to take in our Patreon for us to release this? Because I think you just gave me gave us. You gave us this is an awesome idea for fan fiction. So Anthony has introduced us to a lot of different lesser known parts of Transformers fiction, like those short stories that were made by the Transformers fan club, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this. So you guys know Hitler's book is Mein Kampf.
Yep.
And it's worth a read, right? It's even if if all you know about Hitler is just the mainstream depiction of this is the most evil person in history, that's who we're going to reference anytime we need to reference a pure evil person that existed in real life. That's what most people know about Hitler. Then you read the book and you find out okay, there's a complicated character. He has all kinds of ideas that you will agree or disagree with, but you would be engaged by, right? And that's totally different than the archetype of just a crazy lunatic who just wanted to murder everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So now, which is not to say he wasn't, right? He was.
Yeah,
so
he did a genocide.
So StarScream. So would be wouldn't this be a dope piece of Transformers fiction? Is StarScream's manifesto, basically StarScream's Mein Kampf, of talks about he gives you his history of his childhood, his early bothood, why he started thinking the way he did, why everybody thinks he's an asshole. That's fine because of this. Basically from his end, sort of explain everybody thinks I'm like this. Yeah, maybe it's true I'm like this, but here's why. Right? And have it from his psychological perspective. That'd be interesting.
But if you also notice in for example, okay, so remember Omega Supreme in that one episode when he was talking to Optimus Prime about his history, and he used that normal voice, right?
The secret of Omega Supreme.
Correct. StarScream did the same thing as well too. When he was talking about Jetfire or Skyfire, saying how they were scientists doing their friends and all that kind of stuff. Did you notice the way he was talking?
Yeah. Perfect example.
Right? So that's why I think he played his part. He was acting. I've always remembered that.
That's why I'm gonna say that's why Transformers should be in the hands of Marvel movies, where it's that's a movie in itself, just for StarScream.
But why not a novel?
Well, you can start with a novel first, and then do StarScream Orange. I mean Orange. Sorry, Origin. Another tangerine.
StarScream Orange is Sunstorm.
And Orange. I can't even pronounce the word now. I got Orange in my head.
Calvin, you had
StarScream. The origins of StarScream.
Thank you.
You had your hand up earlier. What are your thoughts on StarScream as leader?
He's just like me, intelligence. So I think he's a great guy. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because the dude is seriously, the dude is super smart. He's good at a strategy, bro, and then he's conniving and cunning at the same time. So if you really look at it, you want that, because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because that can be good or it can be bad for the enemy, because he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Now, take those points that you just mentioned. What other Decepticon team fits right into that exact description that you just mentioned?
The Seekers, the rest of the Seekers, they all fall in line with him, and he gives orders, and the top commander, either Dirge or Thrust, they do the exact same thing. If you look at Thundercracker, look at what he does, and look at the way he talks, just like Starscream.
Okay,
look at the rest of the Seekers.
Now, there's another set of Decepticons and their combiners that also fit into that. Which ones are they?
You talking about the Titans, or you just talking about combiners in general? But there's only two that I know of.
Okay, which
I would
two?
say Overlord, Sky Tower, and then you got the Titans, the Combiner, not Minosaur, the Combaticons.
Yes.
I can't think of their name. Yep.
Yeah,
The criminals.
So exactly as you described, and it's only a few years that I realized that, and I also wonder in terms of when they were writing the cartoon, if they actually even realized this, the Combaticons are just different elements of StarScream.
Yep.
Because think about each character of the Combaticon, and then think about StarScream. Whereas like StarScream will sell his own army just like Swindle. StarScream can also lead, but can't follow through like Onslaught. And then the rest of the characters have the military mindset, just like StarScream.
Well, and if
Is any of them? None of them is a scientist, eh?
No,
I think Swindle. Swindle is something like a science in Breakdown. Breakdown and Prime, he was like a scientist or something. And you got
Breakdown is not a Combaticon.
No. I'm just saying. In Prime, if you look at some of the Decepticons, they're actually like low-level scientists.
Oh yeah, sure.
But
but I was asking if there's a Combaticon who's a scientist. Like they should have made Vortex a scientist.
I think it's Swindle or one of those guys. They're a technician or something.
Not Swindle. Maybe technician makes sense. You know, maybe who's the tank? Like Braun is a technician. That would make sense.
He's a technician of taking people apart with his fists and guns.
Yeah, I don't know if they made any of those guys scientists. But you know what? Just when we do our next tech spec episode, we'll have to go through the Combaticons and see what the other guys do, because really we only know Swindle and Onslaught.
Yeah, I know their personalities, but I don't really know their roles. That's interesting.
I do. I know one of them is a scientist. One of them is
one of the Combaticons. One of the Combaticons. You're saying is a scientist.
Yeah. One of them is a scientist. Yes, sir.
I bet it's Blastoff.
Well, it's not Swindle. Well, Blastoff would make sense. No, Blastoff would make more sense. You know, NASA.
He's low and arrogant too. He stays up in space and doesn't want to interact with anybody. That sounds like an antisocial scientist to me.
Yeah. So you know what we're gonna do when we do our tech spec, our next episode on that? Then we'll look at the Combaticons and look at each robot.
Okay, I got a question.
But I just want to finish off with what's called what Calvin kind of said. If you go back to my original analogy with Hitler, if you look at the Seekers,
always a good out of context.
No, but I'm saying if you look at the Seeker, you could compare them to the SS, and if you look at the Combaticons, they could be the Gestapos.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it.
But like the tiers, right?
I think we should do a repaint with the Gestapo logo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because nothing will go over better with the general public than the Transformer with a Nazi logo on it.
I mean, what's worse? Oh, hold on, think about it. What's worse?
Cobra Commander can't. First you tell me Cobra Commander can't have a hood. Now you're saying I can't have swastikas and all my evil characters.
Well,
I mean, they're bad guys.
Hold on, but if you flip the I can't even pronounce it now. Can you pronounce it for me, please?
Swastika.
Yeah, thank you. If you flip it the other way around, it actually means peace. And
well, I mean, you mean if you flip it the right way?
Yeah,
right. The way it originally was.
Yeah.
Or you have Rekkar's axe,
which is a swastika. Which is a swastika.
Well, it's Rekkar's axe is actually the middle cross.
The what?
The Iron Cross.
The Iron Cross. Sorry, the Iron Cross.
What is in history? What is the Iron Cross?
Well, like the World War I German logo, I think. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Nazis basically took that on as well too for their symbols.
So basically, the Junkions are undercover Nazis. Like that's what you guys are saying right now.
You never know. Hey, listen.
Damn.
Whoa, at the end of World
Calvin,
War II,
do you realize what the hell?
Hold
you
on.
guys are just acting like that's normal.
Think about it. At the end of World War II, there was a big fight between the Russians and the Americans to collect how many Nazi scientists? It was called Operation what? paperclip.
Paperclip.
There you go. So
That's right.
So there's
And they were trying.
the
And they
Autobot.
were trying to invent. They were trying to invent Cybertronian life forms, and what
Right.
they ended up with was not the Bayverse, but what they ended up with was the little paperclip assistant in Microsoft 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not
And-
where I
and-
expected that to go.
And if you go back to the movies,
No, look,
right?
it all starts with military technology, and then it
Yeah.
becomes things
Hold on.
that we use, right?
But I'm
Just
going
like the
there.
internet. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But I was going there was, so if you look back at the '86 movie, right? Hey man, the Junkions, they were their own fraction, right?
Yep.
And then what happened? The Autobots went in there, they made peace, they figured out, hey man, these guys could rebuild friggin' Ultra Magnus, so they could, you know what I mean? They could have used it
Scientists,
for
Nazi scientists.
there you go. And so what
So-
happened?
So that
The
means they don't carry the
Stalin needed
Autobot logo
Megatron.
either.
No, but if you think about Stalin, Megatron, Galvatron pissed them off, and that's why the Autobots were able to get the Junkions on their side, just like Operation Paperclip.
I think you got
That
something
is
there.
crazy.
Hey, you heard it here first, Children of Primus. Fan theories, fan conspiracy theories, none greater than the one you just heard from the great Michael Oladi.
Right? This is our conspiracy moment in Children of Primus. Sponsored by Calvin.
The good God.
Well,
I was just
What
like
were we
looking
just-
for a reference for which parts were pink. That's why I had that image up there while I was painting this.
okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
I just
So, what about you, Spin? What's your opinion about StarScream as a leader?
I mean, as a leader, I've always thought, he lacks the follow through that Megatron has, where is with any plan, Megatron like sees at least 10 steps ahead. StarScream only sees what's in front of him in terms of planning, and maybe one step ahead. So he does lack that follow through. He does play that role well in terms of staying in behind, but only in the sense of waiting for Megatron to fall. So it's like he'll just keep supporting Megatron to help Megatron fail at some point so he can quickly take over.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you were like a leader, right, or any leader that you see today on TV, you kind of always see people in front of them, don't you?
Wait, sorry, say it again?
I'm just saying, like in any leaders that you see today, majority of the time, you always see people in front of them, right?
Right.
So
What do you mean? Well, sorry, what do you mean in front of them?
Well, when you see them walking, you always see bodyguards or other people always standing in front of them. They're always behind, right?
Okay.
So, going what Spin was just saying, if I was in a position to become leadership, let's just say of the Decepticon, I'd probably do the same thing with StarScream is doing. I probably want to be the guy that's behind and let other people be in front. So when those gunshots go off,
That's what Soundwave is.
it ain't hitting me.
Yeah, that is literally Soundwave's thing. I was gonna say, in Marvel, that I've been reading, Soundwave is the person.
But hold on. Starscream is never trying. Starscream is not in the background by choice, though. Starscream is always trying to be at the forefront.
Yeah.
So if anything,
I think that's I personally believe that.
If it's acted, then he wouldn't have had the coronation.
Well, no, the coronation happened after when. Well, we all know when the coronation happened, right? But
yeah,
eventually,
but look,
but it had to happen.
If it was an act, then when they were in, then he wouldn't have actually become the leader of the Decepticons. He would have acted like he wanted to be the leader, and then he would have let Soundwave be the leader, and then he would like play the background the same way he did with Megatron. If that's what he really wanted to do.
I get your point, but I think at that point it was like almost like the point of no return. Saying, "Okay, shit, I got to follow through now. What I've been saying." So that's why he did the whole coronation.
Primetime says, anyone know where I can get a Power of the Primus Predaking on YouTube?
So
he's on YouTube.
to
I'd
Prime
recommend
Tab's question,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I'd recommend having a look at our classified site, childrenofprimus.com. Yeah.
Or you can try Big Bad if you want a brand new package. Big Bad Toy Store is also what's called a good website that I use.
Well, you think they're gonna have Power the Primes Predaking on Big Bad Toy Stores now from 5 years ago?
Don't be surprised because
4 years ago.
yeah, don't be surprised they may have it because I was actually looking for this Chrome Megatron.
I think they do.
Yeah, like I was looking for the Chrome Megatron Transformer Prime. It's really nice, man. It's all like Chrome and all that, and they had it. And I was like, wow.
Oh, cool.
That's on
All
Hasbro
right.
Pulse.
I guess you could try that. I wouldn't know where you could get that specifically. What I would recommend though is not to buy that. What I recommend, if you can find it, and you could, and the place that I would. I just heard some weird noise in the background. What I'd recommend is not the Power of the Primes Predaking, but the KO oversize of the Power of the Primes Predaking, which was cheaper. It was like $60. And you know, it's a knockoff. You can probably get it from Sir Toys. If you go to sirtoys.com, you can look for Power of the Primes Predaking, and they may have the knockoff. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be bigger, and it's a pretty good quality. And then the other option is the other thing that is not too expensive is that what I have is also a KO oversized Predaking of the knockoff of the MMC Feral Rex, and that's a really good bang for your buck. Sometimes you get that for like $100 or $80, something like that. Back in the day, you could get it for that price. I don't know what it is, what's going for now, but it's a good option. Yeah, it's a good option.
Yeah, I lost my Predaking. I don't want to talk about that.
Because basically, the Predaking that I have, the Feral Rex, which is the oversized version, it's like 20 inches, like the size of the Combiner Wars Devastator.
Damn,
that's huge.
Yeah,
nice.
It's big.
Yeah, and I have that figure too, the Devastator one.
Mm-hmm. So now the Power of the Primes Predaking, it's similar in scale, right? It's bigger. It's bigger than those other mainline combiners, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's not as big as Devastator.
No,
Anybody know?
No, Devastator was like the biggest.
20 inches.
Yeah, the biggest.
18 combiner.
Yeah, the biggest one.
Yeah. So I think it was 18 inches versus Toy World Constructor is 20 inches. So I mean, they're close.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just talking about like mainline. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's the biggest combiner right now.
Yeah, so you go with if you go with the knockoff Feral Rex, you're in that same scale, or you get the knockoff Power of the Primes Predaking, or on Children of Primus you find the actual Power of the Primes Predaking if that's what you want.
If I was Prime Time, I get the knockoff, throw away the box, and nobody has to know.
Nobody has to know, except Iceman. Okay, he's gonna be mad. He's gonna be mad that you have a KO.
I don't get mad.
And then you took it out the box. What is wrong with you?
That particular one, I usually keep things in my box, as you can tell. What's called, but I will get rid of that box. And
that's what she said.
Yeah, so I got 2 kids. Everybody's just like, we're quiet there. I ain't touching that.
Okay, it's all right.
I got lots of comments. All of them are way too inappropriate, even for our show.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of what's called Walmart and Target and all that kind of stuff. So the other day I was at Toys R Us, Von Mills.
Hey, did you see I bought you some turtles?
Oh, nice. Are they chocolatey?
What?
I said, are they made out of chocolate? You know, the turtles.
Anyway. That's right.
So I went in there and I was looking.
Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite turtles.
Yeah, they're nice. But so I went in there and I was looking at the selection, which was like crap. they still had the what's called Ghostbuster Transformer in there.
Yeah. I took a photo today of my local Toys R Us, and they also have like a buttload of those. And
Yeah.
like not the original, the later one that's like damaged and has goggles down.
Correct. And so I was looking at some of the Legacy, and they had a Legacy what's called RC, the one that you have.
Yeah.
And they
But
had
no,
a Legacy.
I have the original.
Yeah, okay. Well, I saw the Legacy blaster, and I was looking at the price, and I said to myself, "Hell no,
Okay.
no." Like they're small, man.
Yeah. One of the reasons I like getting my figures from GameStop is because they haven't hiked their prices yet, and also if you have like a card with them, like I do, you get a little discount. So
Yeah,
I try and get my stuff there because it is slightly cheaper.
they're small. I was looking at the blaster, and I'm like, "Whoa, what happened here, man? This is not even a deluxe."
So which blaster is it, and how much was it?
The Legacy one, I think it was like 60 something dollars.
What? The same one that I just showed, the Legacy blaster, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you got.
Yeah,
60 Canadian dollars.
Yeah. So
like
40 bucks.
49, something like that. And I was
So
like,
it's 40.
what
That's 40 US dollars. But still, like Calvin, what do we pay? $30?
Yeah, I paid 30 for mine.
Yeah. So basically it's like 10 extra dollars of our comparison. It'd be like buying it for 40 US dollars.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. So $64.99, you got to put in tax. Calvin, you ready? You ready? Calvin, you ready? How much tax we pay? Right. So $64.99, right, times 1.13, so 13% in taxes we pay. So it comes out to $73.44.
Jeez.
Yeah, but convert that to US though. You're giving him figures that he's not gonna understand.
No, I get
No,
that.
I get it.
But if you convert it into what's the exchange rate right now?
Sorry, what was the final price after tax?
$73.44.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so converted, it's about 84.
No, he's giving you the Canadian dollars.
We got to go.
No, I mean
American,
converted into
backwards.
US, then it'd be about 84.
No, dude, it's not
It
gonna be
should go
more money in
downward.
US.
Down.
It'll be half of that. It'll be like 40-something bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Be
really
like 40%. I think I don't know if it's 40% different or something like that. 30% difference, whatever. But the whole point is almost half of it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not almost half. It's 30%.
Yeah,
So you guys are paying
almost
14% of close to 15% in tax?
No, 13%.
Jesus.
13.
Yeah, I think it's 7 cents on the dollar here. 7 cents.
So I'm not paying almost, let's just say 74. Let's just say 74 for argument's sake, right? I'm not paying $74 for that, that size of plastic.
Wait for it to
hold
go
on.
on sale.
Okay.
Oh,
if I'm
blaster's bigger than that.
It's not. No, but Calvin, it's not going on sale. That blaster, as you know, is a hot commodity. Unlike
I don't get that.
Bulkhead.
And then what's it called? And then I saw RC. It's even smaller for the same price.
Yeah, but he's beautiful. Look at how cute he is. Look at that.
I paid.
Look at that. Look at that red. It matches my shirt. Like, how could you not buy that?
Listen, I'm not saying the sculpt, the design is fantastic, but I'm not spending that amount of money on that much plastic.
Right.
I spend the same amount of money on this, and look how much plastic I'm getting here.
Oh, I always loved that box. That Generation
Ruination.
Bruticus.
Right? Bruticus, man.
Isn't that Ruination?
That's nice.
No, look, it says Bruticus.
It does, but
Bruticus.
what's Ruination?
GT style. No, you know what? It's from the Fall Cybertron figures based on.
Yeah, Ruination is the Wreckers version of this.
Oh, okay. I thought G2 is Ruination.
Yeah,
Nah.
but the whole point is, I spent $75 on this, okay, and look how much plastic I'm getting. Okay.
Check out this comparison.
I spent.
Oh yeah.
Okay. $10 on this. No, $12 on this. Whenever.
It's bigger than the whole box.
Think
If
about
you could only have one of these two, what would you pick?
the original.
Original.
Well, If
Wow,
you're
that's
talking about,
crazy.
yeah. If you're
Look
talking
at how
know what?
nice they look together, though. It
Anthony,
is pretty dope.
Anthony,
All
you're
right,
gonna go with the G1.
I
G1.
mean, the G1 is
Yeah.
like $15-16 compared
Yeah.
to the new one. That's like double the price and smaller.
And how much was the reissue one that came out in Walmart not too long ago? How much was that?
it was a bit pricey. Most of the reissues are. I don't remember the exact amount though.
30. No, it was cheap. It was
It
cheap.
was cheap.
It was the
No,
only.
it was the same.
To Anthony's point, most of the reissues, a lot of them get clearanced out. But
Oh, yeah.
but their regular sticker price is way too high.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the blaster was the one exception. He
Yep.
hit the shelves at $30.
Us was 45.
Yeah, and then I think a year or two, 1 or 2 years ago, like when he came out, it was the hot topic because he got down to clearance to like 15, between like $5 to $15, and I said this is crazy because
That's what it
now he's
cost
the
me.
same price
Yeah.
that he was back in '85.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Sorry guys, that's my Murder Prime moment. I'm not spending that amount of money on a little itty bitty figure. You know what I mean? I'd rather buy a Legends and spend the $34 on Legends.
I hear
Get
you.
it from GameStop instead.
No, don't mention that because if I go there, then my son's gonna be like, "Can I get some video games?"
I don't.
No, go ahead.
I don't. I only buy Transformers there. I have like a local game store for video games, so I don't even think of them as a game store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have to give. Listen, I have to give them GameStop. I have to give them credit because they have a really good collection on used video games, right? Which they're basically brand new, and the prices are pretty good. Because every time when a new video game comes up over here, Calvin, they're like at least minimum $79, $79.99, right? And I'm saying to myself, I'm gonna spend $79.99 within a month. I can go get this for like $25, $30. Doesn't make sense, man.
Hey, I've been spending like $20 for PS4 games from Amazon, so they be on sale. So I'll be grabbing, but my PlayStation 5 plays the 4 and the 5 games, so it's not a big issue.
What am I hearing? It sounds like Sunbow audio.
I'm having
there-
technical difficulties.
The spicy guy.
That's a copyright strike waiting to happen.
I know, hey, we're done now, man.
Well, as we hit the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to be winding down. So, Anthony, what reviews do you have for us coming this week?
I got a weird one tomorrow. I've been reading Marvel, and they just introduced the Pretenders. That's where I am in the story. So I decided to go. Yeah. So I decided to go back and look at Power the Prime's Bludgeon, the one example of a modern Pretender that I have. So this is going to be pardon?
He's such a pretender, but go ahead.
Yeah. So gonna just have a look at what these were like when they did these back in like 2018 or so. They still hide the robot inside when there's a robot in. But they changed into the 13 primes instead. So I'm going to have a look at sort of a retrospective of what these were like because that's where I am in Marvel. And after that, I'll be looking at the Bumblebee guys I've been getting. So Ratchet and Wheeljack here. That's the next couple weeks of things. And you can find them at childrenofprimus.com under news and reviews.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And when you're not looking at news and reviews, use the classified site to buy and sell robots like these.
Hey, you stole my line.
I'm taking care of business for you, so you can kick back.
That I don't mind.
Yeah,
but you got to remember, like, how many times I got to tell you it's free to use? You forgot that one.
It's free to use.
Like how many times I got to say it?
It's almost like it's free to use or something.
See, I don't know. Calvin's like, what? Calvin, it's free to use.
Yes, indeed.
So use it.
And then Calvin, what say you? What do you want to promote before we sign off?
Yeah. I like to promote my new minions. They come to everybody's Walmarts and Targets and give them free items to the customers that need Transformers. So yeah.
Can you smuggle some of those minions to Canada if you don't mind?
Yep.
Just don't call them Mexican. That's all. You know?
No, they're just regular minions.
But then again, if we do smuggle them over and they declare they're Mexican, they might get $450,000 apparently, right? So that's what Biden's doing. So.
Oh man, I ain't gonna talk about it, bro. I ain't gonna say that because
That's a lot of Transformers to buy, man. That's all I'm saying.
That's next week's show.
Hey, but that's all we can do for now is collect. But I do have a theory for next week, though.
Ooh.
Okay.
So we got a theory happening for our next week.
So what if StarScream gets the Matrix? What if it chose him instead of Rodimus Prime?
Things that make you go,
that
crap. Wait a minute. That's going to be copyright. I just did another copyright strike. Damn you.
And what if it changed his decision? What if it changes his decision? Like at first he was kind of conniving, but now he became super smart. He can fight well, and he controls this. He control both parties, and lead it to like a good balance, and fight out all the evil.
Wait, who are you talking about? Which character?
StarScream.
If StarScream got the Matrix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I want to add to that, and then we'll talk about that next week.
Maybe he would turn into Star Saber.
There you go. He almost has the same colors.
Yeah, like we don't know the origin. Like you know how Star Saber is a Japanese character, right? So sometimes when a Japanese character is imported to the U.S. fiction, it's a whole different thing. Like Power Master Prime is not Optimus Prime. So, so maybe exactly as you're saying, Calvin, StarScream gets the Matrix, turns him good, right, or brings out his, the deep buried positive traits, brings those to the forefront, makes him heroic. He becomes Star Saber.
And I'd like to add to that. Because normally in the cartoons and the comic books, they always presented the Matrix strictly for the Autobots, right?
But there is no Decepticon Matrix.
No, hold on. That's what I'm saying. What if the Matrix was available to everybody? Like, meaning not just only Decepticons, like not just Autobots, but also Decepticons and the other fractions that are out there as well, too.
Like humans? Like if Spike got the Matrix? Maybe Spike Prime?
Maybe.
Which the comic book did do.
Like the Quintessons, you know what I mean? Like those other fractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even what's it called? If Unicron got the Matrix.
Well, we know that the Matrix. We know that Unicron and the Matrix don't mix.
No, I get that it would destroy him, but what if?
What if it creates a new body for him, and he looks just like Primus?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe like it would destroy him, meaning it would transform him into somebody good, right? Turn him into Primus, and so to him, he doesn't want to be good. So that's why to him it would destroy him, but really it'd be transforming him.
Right.
So, tune in to next week. Well, we're just talking about if the Matrix was available to everybody. Because historically, the Matrix has always been available, like strictly for Autobots, right? Mm-hmm. So tune into next week's show.
So next week's show. So let's have that, and you should come prepared to say like what other character you would want to see. Like let's have a competition and see who has the best new Prime. So X character gets the Matrix, and then they transform into what? The Bhagwan gets the Matrix, he transforms into Bhagwanimus Prime, as an example.
Yeah. So, for all you viewers, get prepared. leave comments, subscribe, hit the like button, and also prepare for next week because we definitely want to read your thoughts about the Matrix.
Yep.
Sounds
Okay.
good. Sounds good.
So thank you, everybody. Sorry that I came on late, but unfortunately, work is work. So
All right, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you next week, and we have a topic lined up.
Yes,
There you go.
and piece the toy work vintage reviews, TF fan page 101, and
Prime
Prime and Opti Nation for joining us this week.
Big up, everybody.
Yeah.
And shout out to Bill, who we didn't see this week.
Wherever you
Oh,
are.
and
Alvin, who
yo,
joined us once
happy
again.
Mother's Day to everybody's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Say hi to your
Oh,
mom for
yeah.
us.
That's right. It is Mother's Day.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Or Lottie, it's not too late. You may need to make a phone call.
oh no! And then
Whoa,
vanish,
whoa.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Fail.
I was gonna say, what's that number again? 1-800 deliver flowers. And
Nope.
chocolate?
Nope. 1-800-RC.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Peace.
All right.
All right.